What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to have you here for the Darkest Hour, episode 23, featuring Wilson's Game.
All right.
What up, boys?
Yeah. What up?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, so to start the podcast, should Jay buy Topo Chicos? I'm telling him he's probably not going to like them.
I think they're
I
great.
drink carbonated water all the time, though.
Oh, you should
you like
definitely get it. Get some
okay.
fresh lime. Squeeze some fresh lime in there, too. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's good.
Or if you're lazy, just buy the twist of lime.
Or that. Yeah, Topo
I don't
Chico's
think that's
great.
I don't think that's a Canadian product. I have no idea.
Topo Chico? You don't have that up in
You know, like freedom up there?
the Maritimes?
is?
Yeah.
No. Strictly
You
from
and your
the well.
10 round ARs. Or wait, actually, they banned like all guns now in Canada, right?
Yeah. Did they ever?
Crazy.
Yeah.
They have maple infused Topo Chico up there, right?
Yeah. Probably,
Sorry.
definitely.
Sorry. It's fucking terrible.
Hey,
The river down by
I
the
embrace
bend,
it.
eh?
We're off to a terrible start. Immediately just
Anyway.
making fun of this
Got
man
political.
and his culture. Like, god damn it.
Yeah,
Off to a
it's
great
like-
start.
I can't say too much. I literally have like my own maple syrup in the fridge that I made. So, like,
Hey, you
I
guys
just,
remember when
like,
Justin
I can't
Trudeau
help
did
it.
blackface?
What'd you just say? Oh my goodness. I don't know what Donnie just said, but it's hilarious that you have your own maple syrup that you made yourself. That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, this is Wilson's Game. Thank you for joining, sir.
Thanks for having me.
It is an honor to have you on. Brave Gladiator. Brave Gladiator.
Can I say something? Because while Soma's
Sure.
here, you know, kind of licking your boots a little bit, Tony, it's an honor. He did say it would be nice to have someone on the game who's just as bad as us. Because we've had some,
Okay.
Wow.
some Ritalin, we've had some Ritalin gamers. You know, we had
Yeah.
we had Ken on the last time, so he's like #1 wizard all the time. He's like, dude, I'm
Yeah.
excited. Like, this guy sucks at the game, just like we do. So I was like, I'm just letting you know. That was the preface I was
said-
I do,
given.
Wow.
I
I do show
remember him
off
saying that.
everything. Like I don't hide the mistakes. It's all out there.
No,
so-
your video series are great. And
Yeah.
Donnie, that is basically what I said, yes. No, I said that
Mhm.
it was good to have someone on that's not a pro. First
Yeah,
of all,
or
Donnie.
like a 16 to 18 hour like grind every day kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a new dad. So you get
Yeah.
you have congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
super
congrats.
cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
So you have
Yeah, it's
less
tough.
and less time to do anything now.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Even like the first playtest I get into, like playtest 3. I don't know if we want to jump into this, but like
Sure.
it was just fluke that I even kind of got a chance to play because like my internet connection was poor at the old place, and then like I have a Christmas tree business, so I think it was December,
Oh,
mid-December,
Can you be any
It's-
more Canadian?
and yeah, it gets worse. Trust me,
Sorry.
trust me, it gets way worse. We don't need to go there tonight, like in all the details.
he
but-
said it gets worse. Wow.
Yeah, so like mid-December was the playtest, and they extended it, but like usually we're straight out right till Christmas Day,
Mm.
and then I was like, okay, but we actually had like first time forever we sold out, so I was done Christmas trees like the 16th, and I just played Dark and Darker until like the 25th, posted my first video, and then so be it, right? So
Was that your
um,
first
it's-
video on your channel ever, or had you made videos before?
I had like done some stuff way back, like compilation videos in like 2012, 2013 when I used to play like Battlefront.
Okay.
Like the original Battlefront on my Connect. Yeah. I would
Oh.
have,
On
like-
Connect. Nice.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
you
used
would
to
be-
live
you'd
stream
be-
that. Yeah.
On the camera, like doing motions with your Connect?
No, I didn't use motion controls.
Oh, it's like
Voice
No, I
spin
comms?
just-
it,
that's
pop
my-
it.
that was my microphone, my Connect.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
And
Oh,
my
wow.
video. Yeah.
oh
In my
no.
dorm room in the university, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Brutal, but
That's crazy.
I had more viewers then than I did like 6 years later. So, yeah.
No
No,
shit.
I mean, that goes to show you, like, if you really want to make content, you don't need a bunch of crazy equipment. You can, like, you guys know Video Game Donkey, the guy that has like millions and
Mhm.
millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
That dude, his best videos are like him playing dog shit old video games with like a headset mic and him just complaining in the microphone.
Yeah.
You don't need much; you just gotta be entertaining.
So what? So you just thought to yourself, "Damn, this game is badass. I have to make content for this. I'm inspired." Or what? What's the
Well,
gist?
like I think it was like midnight. I posted that before Christmas, and I was like, if it gets 10 views, great. it was just a really awesome moment, and I was loving the game. So I was like, let's put it out there. Uh, and then it was like 10,000 views like the next day, and then it got up to like 25,000
Jeez.
views. And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Hmm.
why is this so like crazy? I was expecting like hundreds of views, not thousands. So
That's awesome.
I just said, why not give this a shot? Hadn't done any editing before, any of that stuff, and just said, I'm just gonna make a video and hope I get a subscriber every video, and then just keep pumping them out. And then so be it. I have like 80 or 90 videos now.
That's awesome,
Jeez.
man. Good
Yeah,
shit.
so it was just like that one video just was like, wow. And it was such a rush seeing like all the comments and all the likes, and it was just a longsword video, of course, right? Fighter class, just going at it. So
Yeah,
and there's nothing out there. Yeah.
yeah. I've watched all your videos. I love your content. I really like your Gladiator series a lot. It's fun. What made you want to? First of all, let's ask this first. Why fighter out of all the classes? Why did that kind of speak to you?
Yeah, so I have like this problem with gaming, and it's like it's basically everything I do is revolves around this. It's like if something's really like really strong, like everyone knows it's the best thing, I always tend to just straight up avoid it. I don't know what it is, I just hate it. So
You're
like
such a
first
hipster.
first playtest was Ranger, and I was playing Ranger, and everyone was talking about how dog shit Ranger was with spear and longbow being super overtuned, and I was like, well, I don't want to be the guy playing that. And then consecutively it went to like I just like, well, I'm not gonna touch wizard, I'm not gonna touch barb. So I felt like fighter was like right in the middle, like could do a little bit of everything, not like super overtuned, kind of in a nice spot for weapons. So but that's with like I don't know what it is. If I get something that it's like someone's telling me that's like broken, I just instantly lose interest in using it. I
Hmm.
can't really explain it. It's just with everything I make, and that's why I kind of veered in the directions I did with a lot of my videos, because it's like I know longsword's the best. What's next? You know?
Hmm.
So anyway, that's just it kind of explains 90% of what I do in gaming. It's just never really use the best thing and run it constantly. It's like it gets boring so fast for me.
No, I totally hear that. Yeah, when I was younger, I liked flavor of the week or flavor of the patch builds. Like, oh man, the Arms Warrior is so fucking strong this patch, and wow, or whatever, whatever game it was, or Diablo 2. Like, oh, Frozen Orb Sork is OP. I would kind of jump on that bandwagon, make it, but I was just chasing power in game, and I wasn't necessarily having fun with the class I wanted. No, it's
Is that
true.
because you had no power in real life?
Exactly, sir.
But
Yeah.
no, I get you.
No,
there.
but
I'm
I
a little
get it, yeah.
contrarian myself. Like whenever whenever there's something that's like the meta, it's a super fun thing. I'm a little bit of a contrarian. I'm like, I wanna
Yeah.
be a little different, even if I suck. So,
And I think that's why we're all gonna go with Bard next playtest, right?
let's do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We'll bar
Yep.
party.
I mean, that's like at its current state, I won't play like complete trash, but
Yeah.
I will use stuff that's not like I will try stuff that's not super broken all the time. But
Yeah. I'm too old to be
Sure.
good at games these days. So instead of chasing the most powerful build or class, I just go with what's gonna be the most fun. I know it's cliche and like dorky to say, but it's kind of true. I don't know. That's just me though.
yeah,
I like fighter, man. I'm a simple guy.
Fighter's
I don't
fun, man.
bonk Heads.
Fighter's great. Have you had a named weapon before? Like a unique?
no, never.
If you got Cinder, would you throw down your dual wield build and just fucking rock the bladed halberd, or what would you do?
Yeah, I feel like it'd
You
be one of
sell it
those
for
things,
$3
like,
grand?
if you're playing solo, I probably wouldn't have it for very long. Seriously, like even with Cinder, a solo player, you're gonna lose that thing.
It's one of the
it'd be
best
one of
parts of
those,
the
like-
game. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So like flash in the pan, like it'd be amazingly fun, and then on to something else.
Well, unless you're
Mhm.
Orlanthe and you just every video is with a
Yeah,
cinder.
I'm hiring some clerics. Yeah,
Yeah.
sign up a few clerics just to.
Actually, that's funny you should say that. Now that you're a content creator with Dark and Darker and your name's floated around, have you had people reach out to you before like, I will heal you, my liege? Like, do you have like clerics or
Actually,
rangers that
like-
want to group up with you?
I've had more people just say they want to like 1v1, like they want to actually have like a dual a dual sword. And I think like Augustin would be in the same boat. Everyone just wants to probably go 1v1 against that guy
Yes,
with Riposte and stuff. So
exactly.
I've had more people asking about just setting up a way to fight each other, like 1v1s, just to see how they compare, basically.
You know,
It could go
Okay.
like horrible.
you know, what would be
Good
really
pivot.
fun.
Okay,
What?
good.
Oh no, you go first if you have a good pivot.
I was gonna say we've talked a lot about like guild halls and stuff. How would you feel if in like if you could have a guild hall and you could have like a training or dueling area in your guild hall?
Yeah, like I'm game for any way you can fight other players, like,
Hmm.
and have like a 1v1s type of arena. Like that's pretty much the whole reason why I named that series the Gladiator series, because I want like the arena style 1v1, work your way to the top. People like betting on your
Mm.
game and spectating, and I think just for like a community, like anyone's Twitch community or a live stream would be super fun. And it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be doesn't have to be any like something they do as its own standalone game type. Maybe
Hmm.
make it like once a month we have a tournament, maybe a themed tournament. Green items only or
I would hope,
longsword
yeah.
only. Yeah.
What if there was like
I guess-
a server that was like a tournament server, and you had 3 weeks to build up your gladiator, your character, or whatever, and then the final week of the season or whatever is gladiator battles? Or is that
Yeah.
lame? I don't know.
Amazing, I think.
That'd be cool.
Well, what if what if we did it kind of similar like that, but regular wipe, right? Where you go out in the dungeon and you find the gear you want, and you can submit it to your gladiator inventory, and once it's submitted, it can never leave your gladiator inventory. It has to be like deleted. And that way, part of the grind of going out and finding cool stuff and killing bosses and whatnot is to build up that gladiator inventory to have like the giga set to go crush skulls in arena.
Sounds
Yeah,
kind of
there-
fun.
We kind of talked about that before, I think. Right?
Yeah, I
That'd be
think
fun.
you guys
I
did talk
remember
about
that.
it because actually one of my first videos was like Terrence did an interview and everyone was asking and begging for a solo mode, and everyone was just spamming the Q&A session with like solo. We want a different PvP mode, and he said there will be other PvP modes like an arena, and that was like
Mm-hmm.
before playtest 3.
Right, that was a while
So
ago.
I was
Yeah.
like so pumped, and like I played Bannerlord, like Mountain Blade, and like the if you played any of that, the arena setup and the tournaments are super fun. So I was like, imagine that in Dark. We're actually playing like other people, and they've like had 3 hours to get some gear. You go in 1v1 them, be really cool.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
was reading chat for a second. I think it's like Stoshko said, I feel like if gladiator loadouts don't have any risks, the rewards are diminishable. Do you think we should be like chasing a leaderboard where we build like the giga set, or maybe do you think it would be better if we're doing like pink slip type gladiator fights? I don't know which one I like better, but
Yeah, like even like in Bannerlord, the setup is like there's always a unique item that you can win if you win the tournament.
Hmm.
So like
Really?
the only reason why you grind the tournament is because you want that like unique item.
Interesting.
And
oh,
so
okay,
like
you're talking about
victor-
the single player.
yeah, single player.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
So it could be like a
Cool.
Cinder tournament where everyone's fighting for a chance to wield that thing.
That'd be a fun weekend
Because like
event.
as a solo player,
That'd be
I'm
cool.
never gonna do bosses to drop that thing. Like I may be able to
Yeah.
buy one, but I'll never be able to like win one in the game.
How
Unless
many people do you
maybe I
think we
kill
could
somebody.
load into like an arena? Imagine if we get like a 30-man free for all, like say like a
Free-for-all
week
would be
before
so
they
cool.
wipe. Just a
Yeah.
week before they wipe the server, 30-man free for all event once a week. If you win, you win a cinder.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like Gladiator, like the
Just
Gladiator
last
show,
man
and
standing.
like lions and stuff, and everyone's being attacked by stuff, and arrows flying everywhere. Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Tight.
What, or I mean, you know what you could do in the meantime? If there, even next playtest or when EA drops, you could theoretically just have a couple of streamers join your party. You go in, you find a nice empty room, and you could just have a 1v1 streamer duel as the third person watches and acts as the
Yeah.
ref.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. But
Yeah.
That's
if Jay or like some cracked wizard is fighting against a fighter, is it just
Yeah.
lights out instantly? Because Jay versus Wilson's game, you got a
probably.
dual wield fighter in leather running toward Jay, who looks like he's cracked down on fucking Adderall, zipping around, going invisible, popping up behind you,
I have
fucking
never-
slaughtering you with magic missiles. How do you
I
take
don't think
on a
there's a
wizard?
chance. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. no, there's like no magic resist on fighter.
pretty
unless you
sure it's
have-
just your hard counter. You
Yeah.
just kind of auto lose.
like I
Wow.
think we're like super slow, even like without him having aced.
Right.
Like so.
Mm. So you think they should nerf wizard? Again, is what I'm kind of getting from this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Definitely do.
Uh,
I agree. Fuck wizard.
a wizard in all greens versus a fighter in all greens. That wizard's a god, basically. I think.
Maybe.
I think.
It comes down to the crossbow basically. If you can land a crossbow, maybe even a windlass in your pocket, that's
Weapon master with a good
lot of damage.
longbow. I mean,
Yeah,
It's been so long since I played. Can fighters use throwing knives, or is that rogue only?
rogue
They can
only.
use
They
the
can
axe.
use
You can.
Francisca.
Wait,
Yeah.
oh, we can use Franciscus? Oh, I guess with weapon
Yeah.
master.
Weapon
Yeah.
master. Wait, can they not
Weapon
use
master can
throwing?
use
they can
throwing
use
knives.
throwing
They
knives.
can?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just not really
Yeah.
as good, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, actually, like I think people have mentioned like doing like gathering hall and just joining up, find an open room, clear it, each bring in one potion. There you go. One guy's the ref. If
Hmm.
he survives, bring all the gear out. You know.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I want
But-
WWE style refs where you can like knock the ref out and like oh
Yeah.
he's tagging somebody in.
Tag team.
The ref's
yeah.
like knocked out. He's like breaking the rules.
Tag team battle would be sick. I mean, eventually you could probably do that. There's the rumor, or actually it might not even be a rumor. Did SDF or Terrence or someone mention that there would be like raid type servers? When they talked about Kuma the Dragon, they talked about how there'd be larger servers with larger parties to do like a raid, right?
Sure.
Was that actually said? I know we've talked about it, but I don't know if Terrence ever
I
actually
don't
said
think they
that.
ever said that.
Okay.
They just said you would need more than 3 people to kill it.
You would need more than
I
3.
don't think they said like you would get like a bigger party or anything.
Oh,
What do you guys
Never
think they're
mind then.
developing as we speak? Like, what do you think was their week of development? Where do you think they're at?
finishing up, adding to the bard and tuning the warlock. That's what I think they're working on right now.
So you think the majority of their development time is spent on classes right now?
Just maybe the last couple weeks, because we saw 3 and 2 weeks ago, 2 back-to-back videos drop on Sundays. One was about the ruins changes. One was the goblin maps or the goblin caves changes. I'm assuming we might see changes to Howling Crypts soon.
Just
I could only. What's up?
nothing.
Oh.
Sorry.
I could only assume that they have probably tightened up or made changes to the maps as they see fit and as need be. But we know that Bard was not in a great spot, right? It was essentially an introduction to Bard is what we got last play test. My assumption is fix the maps how they want them fixed, get rid of the rogue double jump bullshit on ruin, stuff like that. Add a new variation to the goblin caves, fine. But Bard's solely unfinished, so fix that. Start implementing Warlock, fix that up as much as possible. And hopefully, because it's going to be so long until we get EA or another playtest, when we do get it, we'll see a finished Bard and a finished Warlock. That would be the dream. That'd be cool. But I can only assume they're probably finishing those 2 classes and maybe adding a couple new weapons, maybe a couple new unique items, various minor changes, but that's my guess.
Yeah, I think Warlock likely be a thing, right? Like how long was it between like the last playtest and we had a whole new map? They worked on like Goblin Caves a bunch, and then we had Bard. I think it was like 2 months. Was it?
I feel like
Yeah,
they
2
did
months.
it fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what's it been now already? I don't even know. I've lost track.
When was the last playtest?
Been
April?
76 days.
76 days.
Jay's just
Oh
carving it
my.
Why are
into
you
the
laughing?
Yeah.
stone wall.
What's so funny?
He like puts a hand against the window every day, just like today's the day.
Oh my god. This motherfucker
But-
knows the days.
You don't see my whiteboard off screen, but it's there.
So it'll be like
That's
4 or
great.
5 months between.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
lot. if
4
they're
or 5.
working on it.
Whoa. 4 or 5. Whoa.
Maybe.
What you know, Wilson?
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
know?
I know nothing. I'm just
How much Korean do you speak?
none. I put subtitles in all my videos just in case, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Do you
All
know
right.
any Korean law practices? Are you at all fluent?
I could try. I mean, I could make something and put it on there.
This is what
Yeah,
Derp
please do.
Wiggly's looks like when he shaves the beard. You're Derp, aren't you? Yep, I knew
Wow.
it. So we got to ask, man,
Exposed.
when is EA coming? What's your prediction? What do you think? We have to ask all the guests this. When are we getting Dad back? Whether it's a playtest or EA, actually, doesn't matter. When are we going to play this game again?
When is Dad coming home?
When's Dad home?
Well, I
You
said
better
it
answer
4 or 5
good here.
months,
I want a good answer here.
well, I'm fully into like everything that they believe with the whole numbers and the 6, 14, 21. So we got to go with the tinfoil hat prediction of like July 21st.
Oh,
We gotta have hope for that.
Hmm.
And then if
July
not, like
21st.
I mean, early August. But truthfully, I had like so much hope for the last big roundabout with the 9 Cult of 9, and then we did
The memes.
So bad did his like prediction and psyched everyone out, and then I've just been hurt ever since. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
July 21st. Let's go with that.
You know, I asked this last time, but they did do the playtest last time, right? We all torrented it, downloaded it, and
Yep,
what's stopping them from doing that this time? Do you think? You think maybe the
The
legals
court
like they
case.
tried it and they got their hand burned a little bit? They're like, okay, their lawyer was like, dude, don't fucking do that.
Honestly, I think it's both. I think
Yeah.
that they're probably being counseled to chill out for a little bit longer. At least have the case tossed out in the States, if that's even possible. And it was probably a fucking pain in the ass pushing it out via torrent link, especially because a new generation of nerds don't even understand them and think they're illegal. If you're a younger guy or gal, that was probably a fuck up. They were probably shaking their head for that one. And
I heard they
the
would get the
relentless
servers
DDoSing.
DMCA'd.
There you go. Servers DMCA'd.
Yeah.
The DDoSing, they were constantly being attacked. Probably
like
by
us.
Nexon nerds.
Probably wasn't super cheap either, and like they're not
Exactly.
if they can't ask for money. It's kind of like
Oh,
you know.
where'd my Madrina's coffee money go? I bought the mug.
Yeah,
Give me the
Oh,
play
did you get
test.
the
Come
mug?
on.
Did you get the mug?
I got the mug. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
I almost ordered 2 just like to
Perfect.
do a giveaway, and then
Damn it! I should have ordered a second one.
I was like this. Even if I like never see Dark and Darker again, I'll always have that kind of chilling somewhere.
Exactly.
The game doesn't come out, I'm eBaying that shit so fast.
Yeah, I mean, you have a
really?
second
Yeah.
one. Donnie,
ship
Jay
it off.
has a second mug for sale for $500.
No, I don't.
Jay's gonna sell it to me for like $8,000.
I wish I bought a second one.
One Bitcoin.
You'd regret.
Oh, you didn't get a
Well, it
second
was-
one? I thought you actually did.
No.
It was super expensive because the shipping to Canada was like crazy. I don't even. Yeah, it's a lot more. Let's
Really?
put it that way.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I think it was like double the price because of shipping.
You ready for this?
Jesus.
Whoa.
This is gonna hurt. You guys ready for this?
Yeah. Lay it on
I-
me.
I don't really care. I don't have.
Fuck you, Donnie.
I was
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Oh, dare
Fine,
you.
I'll survive.
He doesn't want his wooden tankard. Wow.
Yeah.
Is
That's
it
okay.
actually going to be wooden? Is my question.
No,
Do you
hell
know
no.
that
It's
for
going to
certain?
be a piece of plastic that looks like wood.
Like
Let's
I'm
be real
expecting handcrafted. Like some guy whittled this thing down.
That's something that you
An
would do up
artisan
in
from
Canada.
the mountains
Yeah.
of Argentina.
Yeah, there's a
Some
limited
old
amount
guy.
of them. Like how long have they been working on these things?
Actually, why don't you make your own? Make your own tankard.
Yeah,
You're making your own
Yeah.
maple syrup. You fucking.
However, maple tree, dude.
What
Yeah.
else do you
Yeah,
do?
you-
You said you had a
come on.
Christmas tree farm. You got plenty of wood.
mhm.
You've done
Actually,
some carpentry. Come
I said
on.
it gets worse. Like we full blown have like a sawmill. Like we build our own barns. Like I
Dude.
built it last summer. It was not gaming. Like I was building stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn that camera. Where the hockey sticks at? Turn that camera around.
Yeah,
See the-
yeah, those are around too. Yeah.
What'd you think
Yeah,
about the Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
That's my new
Oh yeah.
hometown.
They had a ton
Yeah.
of Canadians on that team. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a
There's
sports
some-
guy at all, but it was pretty cool to see Las Vegas get all excited and
Yep.
blow up. with that
I
shit.
So I live
was
in
cheering for them.
Texas.
Yep.
I have like 2 friends who like hockey, and everyone is like, "Yeah, you guys are weird." Like, I don't know who likes hockey. Is it way different in Canada of like people that just go just
Yeah.
fuck some hockey up there?
Yeah, like everyone plays hockey. Yeah, it's getting really expensive, but I mean, it's just
Getting
everyone plays
expensive.
hockey.
Find a fucking frozen pond.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, the global warming. Come on now, things aren't freezing like they
yeah.
used to up here.
That sucks.
But no,
Political.
certainly there's rinks everywhere. Like seriously, when I was a kid, like we played in an outdoor hockey league. Like no joke,
That's cool.
we had fully blown like we had teams from all across like my area with enough people to have like outdoor hockey. That's
Wow.
what we did.
So
Yeah,
you play
so, yeah,
hockey,
so-
you build barns, you have a sawmill, you have a Christmas tree farm, you make your own maple syrup. Does it get worse? What else you got?
Oh man, yeah. Well,
Do you like Tim Hortons?
You co-own? Yeah, you're a co-owner of a Timmy's, aren't you?
yeah. No, like like I have my own kind of thing separate from my family. But, like, so I'm big into like apple trees and stuff. Like, I have an orchard set up, and then
Nice.
small.
Jesus.
And then my father's big into cattle, so we have like a beef farm. So
I want to
Jeez,
circle
that's
back
cool.
here for a second. So
Yep.
you said you played in an outdoor hockey league.
Yep.
Now I don't know how ice works. I'm from Texas. I've seen ice 3 times in my life. All right, it comes out the refrigerator. That's about as all I know about it. But did they have any plan if a kid just fucking sunk into that bitch? Do they have any? Do they have like a rope or?
No, they have like full blown like rinks you flood, and it's just like board on the bottom, and then you flood it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're not like on a pond.
Gotcha.
Like I've done it, but they didn't force kids to go out there on like thin ice. Like, listen, Johnny,
Force kids.
today's maybe not your day, but we got to win this hockey game. You know.
Wow.
You want that participation trophy at the end of this? Get
Yeah,
out there and
exactly.
fucking win, son.
We're not that crazy, but it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to Dark and Darker, if I may. Fighter's the main class, which is great. But if you could master a second class, what is a current class that's out that you wish that you could dominate, that you were that you could potentially make your new main?
I've actually never. The only class I've never got to level 20 was Wizard, just because I was like, I'm not learning this. Don't got time. The first 5 levels look awful because you just got like no options, and I was like, okay, just avoid that. But like, I mean, Barbarian's super strong, so I made a lot of videos with Barb, and you can dual axe. You can do it.
Yeah.
True.
Not amazing, but it is super fun to just hold W key and literally both mouse buttons down, and you're just smashing through people. Yeah.
You can dual wield a wizard, ball and dagger, dude. You know.
Yeah, but what
That's
you
true.
start with is just.
I'll let you know right now. There's barely a difference between level 1 and 20 wizard. So,
You know, I'm pretty American. I
you
don't know if I
don't
wanna
have
play a
enough gear.
class.
You're not playing.
I don't know if I want to play a class where the highlight is I get to hold a giant ball in my hand. I don't know if I agree with that. All right.
I want
fancy
two.
for me.
I want two.
I'm
Well, that's
pretty
like right up
cake-coated.
your alley, Donnie.
Yeah, okay. This weekend.
Okay.
Truthfully, I'd be pretty like pumped to see a warlock class. Like, if I was gonna
Dude, I
jump
can't
into
wait. Yeah.
kind of hybridy class, it'd be that. Like cleric was kind of like that for me. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna jump into wizard. I'll jump into cleric, learn what all this spell shit's about. And then cleric became super strong last playtest too.
So strong.
Just
Yeah.
every team had like you're just getting judgmented repeatedly, and then protection bubbles. It's like it was a horrible last playtest as a solo fighter. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet.
Yeah. It did seem.
There's a lot of
tough.
sweats too.
It was like the competition was like raised, like it was like twice as hard. Like people that downloaded this game and torrented it, like they were gaming. Before it was like people
Right.
just checking out the game on Steam, like, oh, what's this? Oh, maybe we'll jump in for a bit. And you're just cleaving through them all and like having a great time. And then playtest 5 rolls around, you're just getting hammered by wizards and shit and barbarians that know everything there is to know about the class already. And you're like, oh god, fighter's not looking so hot right now.
Yeah, unless you have good gear, you're pretty fucked. I really hope that Warlock so Warlock in Dungeons and Dragons has a Pact of the Blade sort of ability. They can specialize in using long swords, one-handed swords, stuff like that. How sick would it be if Warlock had perks that allowed it to use longsword or like an arming sword or something like that? Imagine longsword Warlock casting spells, switching to longsword, being able to use parry and riposte. That would be
alone,
so fun.
Longswords, like when you kind of think about it, it's so unique. It kind of throws everything else off in terms of weapons, because like you can't do anything else in the game you can do with longsword. It just, you have the riposte and then you have the defense ability that makes it come out super fast.
Yeah,
it's like to me like it's kind of almost an issue maybe going forward if like it's solely the best weapon on the fighter class and then the best weapon on the warlock class. Longsword's just way above them all. Even last playtest, it was like so easy. It's so much easier using longsword, even without riposte. Just the swing pattern, the reach, you're not slowed down a bunch, and then you throw in the ability to just double tap a guy in the head when he swings his axe at you. It's crazy. Like, it's really crazy to me that it's that strong right now.
I think you're actually right. I think if they don't add some other weapons with unique traits like that to the game, you're just going to see more and more people using longsword if that is the only item or weapon rather that has some sort of like skill gate attached to it.
Yeah, and if like Warlock
People
gets
like
access to
funnel to it
longsword,
naturally.
People will,
Just-
people will funnel
yep.
to it. I agree. So that's why I think there needs to be more than one class that can use it, like Warlock. Pact of the Blade, let him use fucking longsword, and maybe have a couple of perks associated with swords. Maybe give Rapier Mastery on Bard the ability to parry and riposte as well. Start adding some unique features to specific classes based on what perks or skills you decide to put in your loadout. Yeah, I think that's going to be important.
It's kind of a scary direction because I know a lot of people are like afraid of that whole Mordhau like feigning attacks and riposte and parrying, and so if you start like sprinkling it around to a few weapons, it's interesting to see how they do that, because right now it's literally just longsword.
It might get a little unfun for new players if you get a little Mordhau-y, because we were talking about with like feints. Do you think we should have feints in the game?
No.
Yeah.
I prefer like the basic weapon stuff that's happening right now. That's fun, and like if you watch like Augustin's latest video, even there's a barb in that, and like there's nothing he can do. He swings his axe, parried, riposte, boom boom, drops him, and this guy's like a barbarian versus a longsword, and he's got no chance.
Yeah, if the fighter knows how to block, it's kind of over.
It's like that attack pattern is so, because all the attack patterns are so like you can learn them so quickly. You'll just see longswords everywhere, and I don't blame them. It's super fun.
Just reroll wizard and shoot him with a magic missile. Can't block that.
Yeah.
So fun question. A couple weeks ago, did you wake up early for dark?
I actually, what time? I think it was pretty normal. I think it was a normal, like in my time zone, it might have been not getting up early. I think it was just a standard like 7 a.m. wake up for me, or 8. So I didn't have to like. I know everyone else did, but
if it was 5 for me, it was 9 a.m. for you.
Yeah, so I had time to scope out the Discord and all the Twitch nonsense going on. Truthfully, yeah, I did take part in the display of whatever that game was.
Game.
I think I'm still in there hiding amongst the crowd in that Discord.
You're still in there. Wow.
Yeah.
I left it, man. After I shit talked Dark a couple of times. Yeah. Apparently they were discussing the podcast episode in which we kind of talked about how they were potentially scamming. Whatever though.
Yeah, there's some people that are really convinced and like firm believers, right? And I just felt like just let down. It's like people are buying into this way too early, obviously.
That's how strong of a drug dad is. Instead of getting that sweet white china, they just give you the black tar. I'll take
like
dark.
The extremists from the Cult of the Nine like moved to dark. Like, you know what I mean? Like
good.
Cult of the Nine was
false prophets, man.
Fun, like doing fun stuff with dates and like doing this silly stuff, and then it was like dark was super hardcore. Like if you're not in, you're out of here kind of deal. You don't belong. If you're not like that gold name that donated to this thing, get your ass out of here. Yeah.
Donated to some screenshots. Oof.
There, hey, there is an update about a week ago.
Okay.
There's been a lot of videos. Yeah.
There was a dark early gameplay, and I didn't pay any money for this game, and I'm not upset I didn't. It does. It looks a little rough.
Yeah. And the thing is that people forget is the clones, in many ways, are not going to be able to hold a candle to Dark and Darker. And one of the main reasons why is, yes, there's a lot of store-bought assets. Fine, whatever. But the melee combat, the way all the spells feel, the projectiles, combat, that's their coding. They built that. No one is going to be able to replicate that unless they get in there and code that shit themselves, test it themselves. That kind of stuff is what Iron Mace has been working on for a long time until we saw playtests. That kind of shit. Every time you look at like Dread or Dark or what's the fucking other one? I feel like there's like Crawl.
Project
Yeah,
Crawl,
or Nine Realms. Every time you see these games, the combat looks terrible for a reason. It is basic, out of the box combat animations, and you can tell. Do you think these people chasing Dark and Darker success, grabbing coattails and trying to make a cheap clone, are going to be able to replicate that combat? Fuck no. I personally do not think that. So,
especially most
they're
of them
gonna
are
fail
like
on their
1
own.
to like 3 developers or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's
What was the one that we always talk about this? They always bring it up, and they're like, "Well, now they have a whole team and whatnot." What's the one clone?
Probably Project Crawl, I think, is the better
Crawl.
of the clones at the moment.
that's the guy that commented on the YouTube video. I think it was from Kroll.
Or Dread.
No. Or Dread.
Was it
Dread, I
Dread?
think it's
Dread.
I think
yeah.
you're talking about Tough RPG. I'm pretty sure he's
Yes.
with Dread.
Yeah, like Nine Realms is kind of. I feel like there's those three, and then I kind of set Nine Realms over here somewhere. Like
It's
kinda
slightly
exterior.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, like different approach, different atmosphere. They're going for something a little bit more. They're intentionally trying to set themselves apart from Dark and Darker and make their own
Yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Which
I was
that
saying that
I'm completely fine with. Like, if you want to make a
Yep.
game that is inspired by Dark and Darker, but it is your own video game, I'll play it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great time.
I was saying this yesterday, like all the clones are probably going to be dead on arrival if Dark and Darker drops, but a game
100%.
like Nine Realms where it's like different, it's like a spin-off more so. Like that'll probably survive,
I
It'll
agree.
probably hold its own.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Oh, go ahead.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, what's the point? Like what someone was saying about combat. What's the point of spending time with inferior combat systems like that just aren't fun?
Because
Sure.
they can claim early access, push something out, pay gated, or have a Patreon and make a little bit of money from it. That's what it is. I get why people do it.
Sure.
Like if you see an opportunity and you're willing to fucking scam some people and
I
know
think
that you're
a
not going to
genius if
finish.
you're doing it.
I don't think it's
If you
genius. I don't think it's
If you're
genius.
putting out a dad clone like right now and you rush that shit and it's like somewhat playable, I think you're a genius. You are
That's
just
what I was
like
about to
grabbing
ask.
all that hype.
So, Jay, let's
Huh.
say a passable dad clone comes out. It is
Yes.
noticeably worse than Dark and Darker, but it scratches that
course.
same itch. It's like,
I'm in there.
you-
You may have to continue. I'm in.
like, is this baby powder? Oh, it's fine. Just give me another line. Come on.
Brain's tingling a little bit. It's the same feeling, man. Okay.
Oh my god.
I would
that's
totally be in.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
pretty sure Jay's been in like Dread testing offline for probably 2
Yeah, I
or
did
3
a little
different
bit.
streams. So
Mm.
he's definitely he's desperate.
I mean, that game needs a lot of work, but yeah.
How many
It's
guys-
there, so.
how many bad clones does Jay
Sometimes.
play before we sit him down and have an intervention?
3.
We gotta break double digits. You can't do me that.
Double
3?
digit clones.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Okay.
give me double digits. Here.
When he starts stealing our jewelry to pay for the next early access code, that's when we sit him down.
Hey, shout out Wilson. Wilson, you totally got me into Dread. So
Well,
Thank you
yeah,
for
it
that.
was some guy actually. I think it was Big Skillet, who's a really small creator too that does Dark and Darker stuff. He
mhm.
was just like, "Hey, you should come try this out," and I was like, "Okay, like how do I do that?" So I credit to him, and then the dev was just like super pumped to see a few people interested. So
True.
and they're working on it like crazy. I give them props, man. These guys are putting in a lot of time. It's gonna be a crowded scene once Dark and Darker drops.
Yeah. You've been
Yeah,
putting
I was
time
told
into
that Demsum guy. He
Yeah.
updates the game like every day or every other day or something like
Yep.
that. So
Hmm.
pretty good.
Hey, I mean, they're putting the time and effort in. That's cool. You also have been
trying,
putting
yeah.
some time into Star Siege. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I did. I didn't like recently actually. It was a few weeks ago now. I tried it a few weekends. It was okay. I think they've changed a lot, and Jay probably can speak better to it. And I think he was playing it
Sure.
today. But
Yeah.
when I played, like people had like full purple gear and were just mowing me down. Some of the solo matches just felt like kind of empty to me after playing Dark and Darker. You
Yeah.
just feel like you're kind of clinking around, making a bunch of noise. You shoot out a few lights, you go quiet, and then it's like, oh, some guy scans you. You're like, oh, so we're in this now. But it just
Yeah.
some of the stuff's a little tough, and I mean, you're never going to get that experience, but it's good, it's fun. You can sink a lot of time into it. For me personally, as a just purely solo player, I didn't have a great time. But
Yeah.
there's hope.
So, what have you been playing, if not Dark and Darker, recently?
Battle Bit, actually, yeah, I've been playing a ton of that. Yeah, my wrist is like going to fall off. Just crazy amount of Battle Bit. I just once again, same reason why I choose fighter class. BattleBit has so many weapons, and they just trinkle them along like every 5 levels. So I'm like, oh man, I get this new weapon, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get all the attachments for it and see how well it does. And then I'm just grinding weapons just to see how like broken they are or how good they are. And it's like the same thing I talked about earlier. I use the vector, super broken, on to the next, on to the next, and then they just kind of dole them out, and you have to level them up by getting kills. So
Mm.
it's just got me like hooked on grinding out weapons. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So
Also
Fun.
fun.
$15, I think it is for you guys.
$15 for that
Canada.
game? Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't played it.
Yep.
I don't know.
A lot of people are jumping on it. I suck at shooters now though. I'm probably gonna pass. But it does look pretty entertaining.
yeah. It was a big.
You can role play Soma.
Just do medic.
It's
Yeah.
got you all over. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think
Be a
medic's like
medic.
super OP right now.
You can go and speak Hati or Yanese. Which Jay called you sus for Yanese, is all I'm saying.
What's wrong with that? It's whenever you're trying to talk when you're yawning.
Don't worry about it.
I just said, how's no one brought it up? You know, as an Asian, I feel inclined to bring it up. You know,
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll never say it again. Damn it.
just fucking with you. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I have Latin roots, so I call it Yanish.
Yanish. There. I'll switch to
there you go.
Yanish.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm 15% Spaniard, so maybe I can say that.
I'm 100%
Mm.
corny white guy, so I don't know if I can
Nice.
say that
Huh.
either.
You can't say that, Donnie. What the?
Yeah. I can say
You're full of
Yalish.
dudes right now.
Which is a good thing. It's great. So if you could
Wait a second.
if you could change one thing about Dark and Darker base game, a feature you dislike, remove something, whatever, what would that be?
One
Mr.
thing about
Wilson.
Dark and Darker. Wow.
Yeah.
I was expecting like change something with the fighter class, but
Just in
this is,
general.
like, change the whole game.
Fighter questions
well,
coming next.
Truthfully, this isn't really like, I think this is expected anyway, but I want that arena, like something terrible. But really, the game, like, I can't think of too many games I've played this much, and I'm just like, give me more. Don't care if server issues, a little bit of desync or whatever. Throw me back in there. Even if I lose all my gear, let's go again, like, and again and again. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
So, as far as like changing anything, seriously, keep it the way it is. I'd pay for it. I'd play the shit out of it. Yeah,
It's a good
So,
answer.
more things to come, obviously, with development. But right now, just more. Just give me more of that game.
You like the
Okay.
taste of the soup. All right. Don't add
Yep.
any ingredients. If you could add a build variant, new perks, skills, a new way to play fighter, how would you
Yeah,
like
this one's-
to? What would you like to
This
see?
one's talked about a lot with actually in the Discord. A lot of people were debating about the Slayer perk going into like also benefiting. I think Augustin's been a guy trying to get something for two-handed weapon users, but I think like they're gonna add some stuff for that. I want it to be separate from Slayer. So like Slayer is its
Oh,
own
yeah.
light setup with dual wield, and then two hands have something else, two-handed weapons. But truthfully, some of the stuff that just needs to change with fighters, like just their skills. Second
Yes.
wind and sprint. I think of any class are like the most picked per player. Like, and it's just absurd. to
What
me
about
because I
perfect
hate that.
block with longsword? Does perfect
Yeah,
block work?
I've heard you talk about this, and
I
the
want to
only time
test
I've
it out so bad.
Yeah, I faced one guy that was using perfect block and shield, and I think Jay was talking about this yesterday. When like playtest 1 or 2, fighter would have like, if you blocked, you'd basically be able to get a free hit on the guy you blocked, and it was
Yep.
just super broken. I had that happen when a guy did perfect block to me. He just blocked, smashed me in the head with a falchion. Perfect block, smashed me in the head with a falchion. I'm just like, what the hell's going on? It felt so strange and so weird, and I was just swinging at him, adrenaline rush like a madman kind of deal. And he perfect block, you can just press it, leave it on, and you land that block. I'm assuming it really affects the person you're blocking swing speed and
Yeah,
how quickly
yeah.
they recover. So it just had me like gimped, like I couldn't do anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's no stagger,
It's like
right?
hitting
when
a
you do the perfect
wall.
block?
It's
No,
it
no
screwed me right up
stagger.
because I'd never seen it, and I just got destroyed. Yeah.
What do you
So,
think it would
might be
work
something
on
there.
longsword? Do you think would it open
Well-
up the block window in a larger way, like the not window?
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
I just think longsword doesn't need, like, it doesn't. You're just gonna
The box,
you're just
the
gonna take
block
defense
box.
expert and double tap the guy.
Yeah, but
But,
I'm saying, like, do you think do you think using perfect block while using longsword increases the radius in which you can block, opens up the block box with
I
the
don't
longsword?
think it does actually.
It doesn't. Okay.
No, I've tried it, and it's like you still got to land your block perfectly. So it's kind of weird how it's worded. It's not like a free block. You still got to like block with that shield and have it not clip through. Um, it doesn't seem to like, from what I could tell, benefit you all that much, other than the recoil they receive. Like, it
Interesting.
doesn't
Yeah, the
make your
stagger
block
or
any
whatever.
easier, I don't think. So you're still going to be doing the same stuff with your longsword. Just you might get a cleaner window, but the window's so short on that follow up because of defense expert. It's like you're hitting them so damn fast anyway. Like you're swinging
Yeah.
that block, it's crazy. But I see where you're going. I understand. Like you're trying to find a way to fill like a skill in there that's not just the mandatory sprint or second wind. I have ideas, but it's like adrenaline rush is just super fun for me because it's something different. And then like everyone says taunt isn't really that great, but they lump it into the whole like tank fighter thing with the percent damage. And I guess if you were going to
Yep.
change something to a fighter, that's probably one that everyone's going to jump on, saying they don't want to see 95% damage reduction fighter. And taunt kind of gets you there faster. But when I use taunt on my light gear setup, what helped the most about it was your actual like projectile damage reduction with your perk and some of your light armor. It actually makes a bigger difference, I think, than people realize on arrows, because you're getting
Hmm.
the 15% from taunt, you're getting 10% from the perk, and you're getting a little bit from your armor. So if you can get 30 or 40% of a arrow damage taken off with taunt on a quick
Yeah, that's a
shot,
lot.
it's so much more
It's pretty
beneficial
good.
than everyone just immediately assumes it's for like a barbarian's axe swing. I loved it because it made me tank a lot more arrows. Yeah, and that's like the biggest challenge as a solo is just getting close. So
Do you think for Gladiator that using like an arming sword or falchion with hand crossbow would have been a valid cool build? I didn't see
Yeah.
any fighters doing that, and I don't understand why.
I wanted to try it so bad that I just ran out of time. Basically, I had a couple of blue hand crossbows in my inventory, and I was like, I'm gonna set some time to actually put in like an effort on those because everyone was telling me I should try them. I just never, I
That would
never
have
got
been a fun
around to it.
build. Yeah.
No,
Well, you
and
get
that's
minus
like
10% damage, right? So you
Yeah,
weapon
so
master for it or no? Okay.
you need weapon master for it, which sucks. And 10% is a lot on some of those weapons like recurve and stuff.
Yeah, but as
True.
a fighter though, you're stacking up so much physical power and strength typically that with just a few points of strength, you're negating that damage
Yeah.
reduction.
Sure.
with
It's
weapon,
definitely
I
on
think.
the list. Yeah. And like, if we're speaking fighter, the other thing I'd love to see is breakthrough actually become a perk that's usable. Like,
What is that?
I'm the one that instantly takes away like movement speed penalty, like any debuff you receive from like an arrow
Oh,
or a slow.
sure. Yeah.
So like, it sounds so amazing, but there's just no way to really use it. So no one uses it. If it was like a duration, like you had 5 seconds where nothing slowed you down,
Right.
that'd be
Yes.
huge. It'd be so awesome.
Run
You
right
could
over a
charge
trap. Yeah.
You could run right over a
Yeah.
trap. You could take an arrow to the knee. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You're a fighter. You're charging in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
You.
Yeah, I would love to see
Yeah, that's the
adrenaline rush
best way to
breakthrough.
do it.
Yeah.
Have a duration on it, because like an
I agree.
insta knock off all my debuffs, like slow debuffs, there's literally like 3 or something.
You just
right,
take
in the
another
game,
arrow or
if
another
that.
throwing axe immediately
Yeah.
after.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it was like a percent, like 50%, like movement speed, it like negates 50% of the slow for like 5 or 6
True.
seconds. You just keep moving, like you're breaking through something. Where right now it just feels like I want to use it. I really want to use it because like sprint with a breakthrough on a light setup with dual wield, like running around, dual wielding people would be super cool. Nothing can slow you down, kind of thing. I'd have a
I
lot of
wonder
fun
if
with that.
they didn't make it a duration because they're gonna have Hand of Freedom or something on a Paladin, or something like that. But even then, I feel like it's no excuse why I even put it in.
Yeah, freedom of movement is a pretty popular spell in D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that just for the non?
It's like you.
D&D
It's
folks?
like you said.
Is it okay?
It's just a duration. Yeah. It's just like you get a buff where you don't get slowed or anything for 5 seconds, like you were saying.
Yeah, I'll read you the exact spell. Here we go.
Okay, dude.
Duration is 1 hour, which I don't think that would
Jay
be.
Breaking up
was
the
right.
wiki. Breaking
Yeah.
up the
You touch a willing creature. Nice. For the duration, the target's... I mean, I'm reading the spell. Reading the spell.
Right.
The target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects can either reduce the target's speed or cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained. So wizards fucking slamming slows on you and ice bolts. None of that shit matters as you have this thing on.
Question: have you ever been slowed by a wizard, Wilson? I'm curious.
I don't. If I
You
have, I
say
don't
no,
remember it.
right?
Yeah. It's just fireballs and stuff flying at you. You know.
Would you? What do
I
you?
don't think-
What do you think about? Sorry, go ahead. If you're still answering.
No, you go ahead. You finished your thought.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So when Paladin rolls around, as someone that likes fighter, do you think Paladin would sort of speak to you? So I mean, and just to help out with that question a little bit, Paladin is essentially going to be a similar to cleric, so they're wearing heavy armor, but they can use swords unlike a cleric, right? So they're going to use like an arming sword and shield, or a big great sword, or Zweihander. No bows, no ranged shit at all, unlike, you know, like a ranger or a fighter. Cleric obviously doesn't have access to a ranged weapon either. They probably would not have a lot of crazy spells that would benefit other party members. It's going to be more self buffs and self heals, but what they would have obviously is auras, right? Is Paladin close enough to fighter to you that you would be interested in trying it out, or how does a class like Paladin sort of pique your interest, if at all?
Yeah, like I think one of my most played besides fighter would probably be cleric. So for like playtest 4 at least, I played a lot of cleric and goblin caves. So I'd be all for Paladin. It'd be super dope. And like I've said earlier, pretty much any class in this game I can have fun with.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I've played almost every one of them except for Wizard to level 20, and it's always been like enjoyable. Yeah, except for Wizard.
It's messed up, man.
Except for Wizard.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
hard.
what it
Wizard's
is.
hard,
I
man.
honestly, I think I maybe played like a game on Wizard, maybe one.
And sure, I'm getting called out. Yeah, I mean, we didn't go into perks and spells, but yes, I think lay on hands would be essentially an instacast surgical kit that you get once per raid, right? I think that you would have smite, so add 30 holy damage to your next weapon strike, 60-second cooldown, something like that.
Anything that like makes solo like viable or more viable is super awesome for me. That's why cleric has so much survivability. I was like, let's go cleric, especially with when Goblin Caves first dropped, it was like dreadfully hard. So I would always take protection from evil, like reduce some of that poison damage, and I was actually like, okay, this cleric's actually dope in Goblin Caves. So
right, it is. Yeah.
If you had a paladin that had like some decent survivability and was just a brute as a solo player, it'd be blast. Yeah.
I could see like someone strolling in with like lay on hands as like their Q, smite is their E, and then all 4 perks they just have auras on, and they're just like walking around with their cleric or their ranger or their wizard, and they don't even care about the perks. They just want to bust out 4 auras. That could be so cool.
And like full ruby silver.
So that'd be so sick. Yeah, with a big ass greatsword. They have to be adding greatsword to the game, right?
I would hope.
I mean, come on.
And they let wizards use it because they're great.
A greatsword on wizard.
I would ignite that shit. I'd go full time
Oh
ignite
my
wizard with the
God.
greatsword.
Okay, what if
That'd be
there was a
crazy.
named greatsword and it was the crystal greatsword, and wizards and warlocks and casters could wield it, not cleric, but sorcerer.
Fuck cleric.
Yeah, fuck cleric. They don't use blades.
They can summon insects. Go fuck yourself, cleric.
You need a unique crossbow. Wizard can use it too.
You're
Oh, yeah.
disgusting.
Is there a unique crossbow? Because I was surprised Ken, like I think it was last week or the week before, was saying he used crossbow all the time. I'm like, I've never seen a wizard do that, so I was like kind of surprised when he was talking about it. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe we need a unique one that we can share.
I would like to see a
Then
unique
I'll play
crossbow
wizard.
that has like 75% decreased reload speed or something like that. Just really, really quick.
Did say though that it was kind of memey. Like he used it
Yeah.
not
It
super
is.
serious.
What
It's
about
bad,
like
but you
Van
can use
Helsing,
it.
like an auto bolt gun, like that
Repeating
that's just like a
crossbow? The
machine gun?
That's
repeater.
what Soma
Yeah.
would be saying.
The
Yeah.
repeater crossbow. That's I think it's too strong. It's too
Just
strong
put a gun in the game.
for
Just put a
dead.
fucking gun in the game.
Yeah,
Put a
give him
musket.
an AK at that point.
Well, I'm actually if they're gonna have Artificer show up in the game eventually, I actually am worried about guns or like magical cannons or something being added to the game. Please no.
I don't think Artificer's coming in the game.
I personally hope not.
Artificer sounds like a leap, but
I hope it's not
they
in the
say
game.
13 classes, so what could it be?
Probably Artificer is that last class. I just wonder how they
they-
would do it, man. Like, animate objects, some sort of something attached to like wearing armor. So if they're maybe they get like a free ranged attack that shoots out of their armor or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to think about it because Artificer is such an odd class. But who knows? Maybe we should talk about that another time, another episode. Yep. So we've been chatting now for an hour.
Crazy.
Over an hour. 55 minutes actually. Why don't we move it to Q&A for a while, Chad? If you have any questions for us, for Mr. Wilson.
I got one, dude. What kind of
Okay.
one-handed weapons you want in the game?
One-handed weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I don't know if I ever really thought about
Like a
that.
flail or something.
Flail would be cool.
Please say whip, Daddy. Come on.
Whip. Yeah, in Elden Ring,
Horned
actually,
whip.
I would dual wield whips, if you can believe it.
That's
Yeah.
a good.
It's
That's
just-
good.
It's
yeah.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's kind of funny. That would be kind of nuts. And I know, like, I played a bunch of old school RuneScape back in the day, so the whip was always like,
Whips are
Big
cool.
deal.
Yes.
yeah. But a flail would be nice.
I want them to add a dragon dagger with the spec on it, you know,
What's
Yeah,
a
the
dragon
poison.
dagger?
Yeah,
from
plus
RuneScape.
plus.
But they do it.
Yeah.
They do a spec. They do a slash real fast. It does hella damage.
I was thinking about that today. Like, and I should have mentioned it earlier about fighter class. Like the damage they have is like they have no damage skill really or ability. So
Right.
Victory strike,
I
but
always
it's
feel
dog
like
shit.
Victory strike's just super dog
So
shit.
bad.
So bad. Yeah.
I was thinking like a bleed or something, or anything at all that would be alternate to victory strike that would actually give you some sort of damage. Because I think that's the big problem that
Shield
obviously was
bash
talking
too.
about.
Shield bash blows
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't
Mhm.
have like when you're level like 1 or whatever, just starting out a fighter class, it's literally just your sword. Like, you have nothing else to help you. Other
A
classes
bandage,
have like
yeah.
poison damage, rupture. Wizards have a bunch of options, and cleric can just judgment you. Barbarian has Achilles strike. They had playtest 4. Their axes were super broken throwing axes.
Yep.
So or even some of their other axe abilities they have something that helps them with damage.
What
Honestly,
would you
it's
add
just- yeah.
for a fighter ability?
you know what I would add? I would add a charge. So like how we're talking
That'd
about
be sick.
put
a
blink
dash
on a
forward?
sorcerer that blinks ahead 5 meters. What if you just give fighter you hit Q and you just charge forward 10 feet or something like that? And if you knock into someone, they stagger for a second or something like that.
Something to close the distance.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I think that could work.
So like a breakthrough charge, like you're sprinting at
Yeah.
him, and then you break through, and then you just
That's not a
charge
bad
into his
idea.
face.
That would be sick.
I like that actually.
But can you use it to run away though, or do you have to go
Yes,
towards something?
sure. You could like quickly run
Yeah.
to a door and then close it behind you.
Can you go through a door?
Ooh,
break a
maybe,
door with your
maybe
dash?
if you have a fucking.
I'd be so down for that actually.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that actually
Full
would be
plate,
cool.
you can break doors.
If you have a shield equipped,
Okay.
you can
Yeah.
fucking break the door down. Oh shit, that's actually kind of cool.
I'm just picturing how silly it would look though in Dark and Darker, like
Very.
the rogue backflip. How silly that looked. I'm
It
just
looks
picturing,
so
like, how would
silly.
it look witnessing a fighter charging and like smashing into people? It'd be so funny.
I was watching I guess clips on Jay's stream yesterday, and I had never seen rogue backflip actually used properly. And there was some clip.
Whoa.
There was some clip where this guy like stabbed a guy a couple times, backflipped away, double jumped forward, stabbed again, backflipped away. It was incredible, and he fucking destroyed the guy. That
It
it
was
was
Grimm's.
awesome. Was it Grimm's?
Yeah, Grimm's got like destroyed by a rogue.
Yes, that
He
was
swinging his
Grimm's.
axe, and he
Yeah.
was so pissed.
It was incredible. Yeah, that guy was good. Anyway,
I tried doing it a couple times. People just hold W against you though. A
Yeah.
lot of time you're out of the flip, they're just smacking you in the face again. It's like, oh.
Valfor asks, any ideas for a new solo map you would like to see other than different Goblin Cave maps? So you know how I've talked about like the Mage Tower, you have to keep climbing up to get to the portal at the top?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Mage Tower would be a solo map instead of a group map.
Like just you actual solo, or you just mean like solo
No,
queue?
like solo queue, got like Goblin Caves. You would go in alone. There'd be like 12 people in the tower, and everyone's trying to get to the top to get.
I've always
a
struggled
portal
to
out.
like visualize how the tower would work.
So
You know,
Go ahead.
What's
Would you just be like fighting up spiral staircases or something?
It wouldn't be like a single room. I mean, it would be like a larger building,
more
but
to it.
yes, it would be bigger on the bottom, and as it goes up, the rooms would get smaller, so you're forced to fight.
Sure.
And then at the very top, maybe there's 6 blue portals available, and that's it. And 12 people enter the map or something.
when I first heard there was like a solo dungeon, in my head I thought for some reason that you're gonna go into the normal dungeon and take a portal to the solo dungeon. So like when you say something like Mage Tower, I'm thinking like it'd be cool if they had like a portal specifically that took you to like a solo arena kind of thing where it's like, do you dare? But then that game continues as it should. Like so, I don't know why I thought that, but when they first dropped that information, I was like, oh, so there's gonna be like another portal that takes us to like a solo experience because that's all they said. It's like we
Right.
have a new solo experience coming. I'm like, so we're just gonna play, but normally, and then grab a portal. And it's gonna take us somewhere. Like the solo players are all gonna go play somewhere else, but it could be something they could do with like a mage tower or something where it's like a unique portal drop that 6 people get or whatever 4 people get, and you're fighting it out in the mage tower or whatever something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to do interesting seasonal shit like that. They must, right?
Can I have a hot take?
Sure.
I like the idea of Goblin Caves. The Goblin Caves kind of sucks.
It
Just the
sucks
map
when you
design.
can't find a portal out and you have your bags are
Yeah.
full and there's no one left and you're just running around waiting to die to the Dark Swarm. That's when Goblin
Yeah.
Caves feels the worst.
I feel like the verticality was not very well done.
It was just hard to like the map itself was pretty much useless. So
Yeah.
it became really confusing quickly. I think my last episode of the Gladiator series was me just dying to zone, like to
Trying
the
to find a
yeah.
portal out.
swarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, killing the whole lobby with a long sword, like a blue one, and then just dying to the
That was the
darkness.
worst feeling, is especially whenever you're broke and you're just starting out with a new character. You're like, all right, I'm going to hit some Goblin Caves. I'm going to level up a little bit before I go to Howling Crypts. And then you start with Grays, right? Maybe you get a couple kills and you're like, finally, I'm going to get out and I'll have a couple hundred gold. I'll have a start. And then you just can't find a portal and you're fucking dead. That was
it's
a terrible
definitely-
feeling.
I played a lot of Goblin Caves because it was it felt like I said, Crypts was just so much harder as a
Right.
solo this playtest. And then like Goblin Caves is always like profitable, even if you get those shitty situations. 3 out of 4 you're gonna be fine. So if you're good enough like to win the 1v1s.
Yeah.
So and it's great. Like this it's another thing I was thinking about today was like a lot of people want like a training arena kind of deal where they just go in and they train against people and stuff and they can test out weapons. And then I was like kind of thinking about it, I'm like, well, maybe that would ruin some of that like sweetness of the game where everyone's in there like brawling it out, learning about their class and their weapon or whatever, not fully knowing everything it can do. So it takes some of that little. I've always found it fun that it can be so random, and you're not always sure what your weapon's hitting for if you don't, unless you're like getting lucky on the dummy kind of thing.
Mm.
So I just the night. There's the thing out there with training. I know a lot of people want like a full blown training arena where it's like they're going to be testing 24 hours before they even go into a dungeon. It's like,
Yeah.
just jump in there and swing your sword and see what happens.
That is
It
true.
does
'cause
open a hyperbolic time chamber to just become a god and stuff.
Yeah.
I play Tarkov, and I do, whenever you first get that gun range in Tarkov, when you first make it, and you can kind of go in there and shoot your guns when you want to, you do spend a little less time in raid. You're fucking around with shit like way more than you necessarily need to be.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, either way, I probably wouldn't use a training. I probably would use it some, but I just find there's something sweet about like the unknown in a way, and everyone's dealing with it equally. Like they're all going in there with random shit and trying to figure out how well it works.
Right.
Fair?
Stoshko is wondering, how would you guys feel about an adaptive map minimap when you run across or find something in the dungeon, your map updates as you mark it down? I don't know if that works for a game like this where you're going in like 12-minute, 13-minute periods of time, right?
It is rather short.
If it was an open world game and there was a lot to explore, yes, I would say yes. But if you're just gonna run Goblin Caves 10 times in a row, and you're going in 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes at a time, I don't think there's a point to add that in. But if there was a super large map and you were in there as long as you want, yes, I could see that actually working.
It's the other thing that like the amount of like time you spend in the dungeon to me is so crucial. Like I'm not for the whole 45-minute raid thing. You know,
It
I
just
like
gets so old so fast.
I like
Shane.
the 10, 15, like maybe 20 if you're really things are getting really epic, like 25. But if they like start adding like 3 layers and a whole bunch to deal with, as a solo player, like those 10 minutes are poof, like gone.
Yeah.
You don't get to touch most of the stuff in there. Like you're just getting
Yeah,
to
you
the
clear
end.
like 3 rooms and
Yeah.
swarms pushing you.
I love it, and it keeps the pace so much. Like it's
They found a
pace is
really
great.
sweet spot, right? With like that 10 to 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect amount of time.
Have they ever switched the time?
Yes.
I believe it was
Maybe
longer.
it was just the hell levels. I think it was just the hell levels, actually.
Yeah.
I think if they were gonna have
can't
like
remember.
I think they were longer at one point. A while back though, like playtest 3, maybe slightly longer.
Yeah, I
But
don't remember.
if they were gonna implement some like raid type map, like Kuma's Cave or something like that, like you're gonna go into the dragon lair and you need another 3 people in the party for a total of 6, make that 20 minutes, right? Like,
Yeah.
especially if you have to fight through like nightmare level mobs to like get to the raid boss, you're gonna need more time.
Like you're invested. That was one of my biggest problems with trying to get into Hunt Showdown. I just felt like it just took too long. But
Yeah.
Hunt
That's-
show.
that's-
What?
that's coming from Dark and Darker, like where it's like just boom, crash, you're in there smashing into people, you're out. It just nothing. Even like, I mean, Tarkov, the sitting in a queue or a raid
Yeah.
timer.
Tarkov
and
takes
then
way too long.
It
you're like
does.
falling asleep, and then you get in, you get headshot by a scab, and then you're like, oh,
Now,
asleep again.
I will
Yeah.
say, boys, Hunt Showdown just released a giant crocodile boss, so we should hump. We should hump. We should hump into. We should jump
Taking this
into
a whole
some
different level.
Hunt Showdown and play it because it's fun, and I could definitely show
That'd
you
be
all the
game.
ropes.
Yeah, I
It's
have
good
it. I
time.
mean, I've tried it a few times.
It's PvP Soma with PvE, but a lot of PvP. A lot of
dinos?
PvP. There's crocodiles. That's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Crocodile boss.
Yeah.
There's a giant spider. There's a fat guy who's a pig man. You can kill him.
Sounds kind of interesting.
And
maybe.
there's revolvers. It's a good time. You should try it out for sure.
Did that
I-
just come out? Because I think I saw their their player count went way up recently.
Yeah, a day or
So
so
it
ago.
must
I
have
haven't
just-
checked it out yet. I might
Who?
check it out after stream.
What
Actually,
game?
Hunt
Showdown.
Oh, Hunt.
They just had a new hunt boss. And
Meanwhile,
check this out, guys. The game's been out for 5-6 years. They just added rain maps. Rain is in the game
Nice.
now.
Wow. Very exciting.
Sorry, what were you saying, Wilson? I interrupted you, boss.
oh, nothing at all. We probably should get chat to chime in here again. We've been ignoring them, maybe.
Yeah, Lazy Prodigy's got a
I
question.
used to.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in there. I get ignored all the time.
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
rip,
Yeah.
rip.
Jay's like
That one
on that
hurts.
chat like crazy. Nothing gets by him.
That one hurts.
Lazy
He's the
Prodigy.
admin
He asks, "What are your guys' thoughts on the item weight system that they intend to add? How much would it change the game?" Oh man, I'm not a fan of it personally. I'm slightly worried about it. I think heavier classes that were played like fighter are slow enough. If you have to worry about the shit you're putting in your inventory, that ain't good. Now, if you want to bring in a backpack so that you have more than just your inventory to store shit in, and there's some sort of item weight system attached to wearing a backpack, then I guess that makes sense. If you want to risk pulling in a
Right.
bag to pull out double the amount of loot, and once you fill that bag up with whatever the max weight is, if you're 25% slower, so be it. If you're willing to do that, right? I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
So I hate to be that guy,
Uh-oh.
but
You have to go to an
if
orgy.
you add no,
Oh, okay.
no, I'm gonna be for the podcast.
Fair enough.
But if you add a backpack in game, cheaters are gonna use that backpack, kill everybody, and load up that backpack and get everybody out. Get everybody out.
True.
Wait,
That's what they
explain.
do in Tarkov.
Explain.
That's what they do in Tarkov. A cheater is going to use stuff. If you let people carry excessive gear, you're going to make RMTing and like cheating kind of worse in a way, hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Tarkov, if what cheaters would do is they would bring in just giant amounts of space and they would kill everybody in the lobby, take all their stuff, and get out with it. So
I see. because they can just hoard it.
They can just gobble
Yeah.
more.
That's how you know someone's cheating in Tarkov. They're wearing a couch backpack. You just know. Because
Get
only
outta here.
cheaters use that big ass bag.
Interesting.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan
But
of
yeah, that is a
weight
good point.
in general. But
Yeah, I don't
like
think weight should be in the game.
Yeah, I'm
I like
not
the
a fan.
fact that like some items are just huge, so no one wants to carry them around. Like I think it was a couple playtests ago, spear was like super rare because no one wanted to haul out a spear. It just
Right.
takes up a ton of slots, so it's
Yeah.
kind of funny.
What else we got here? Keep them coming, folks. What questions do you have for the crew here? Let me see. Do you think the wand will add a new auto attack type ability for wizard? Asks Otum. I personally don't think so.
I'm sorry. Could you say it one more time?
Do you think the
I
wand
listened,
will
but I
add
didn't
a?
hear.
Do you think the wand will add a new auto attack type ability for wizard, like a cantrip?
Yes.
You do the wand?
I do.
Should.
I think so.
So like what?
What
Like
are
a
you gonna do?
cantrip
Stab with the
fireball?
wand? Okay, so here's the thing about the wand. It is.
Well, with the crystal ball, you're not
confirmed.
going to smack someone in the head with it. It's still a casting tool, right?
Yes. Yeah, but here's the part that falls. It's basically confirmed that wand is a main hand, only like a one-handed main hand. So it has room for the crystal ball. So it's assumed
Oh.
that you
You'll be
can't
able
even
to
cast with the
hurt
wand.
stuff.
It would just be like a range thing. Yeah.
That is kind of cool. Okay, so
I
so
don't know.
wand essentially is just another ranged weapon, not a casting device, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That is cool.
I think that's how it'll be.
Now, if that
That's
is
just
a
like-
counter to Warlock's potential Eldritch Blast cantrip use, that actually makes sense. And I
I might
think
play
that's
Wizard,
fucking
yeah.
cool.
Maybe
Wow. Okay,
If
that
it's,
actually is sick.
It'd be cool if it had reduced movement speed, then I could wield it primary, and then just go short sword secondary. I do that with Rondel too. It's great, just to get the movement speed like way
Yeah,
down on
yeah,
your
yeah.
character.
Huh. The wand thing's
be
kind of
awesome.
cool, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, why not?
Interesting.
But yeah, there's this is from like the press photos though for like the. I mean, I'm sure most of us have seen the press photos for it. I would assume
think so.
You got
it's
your
like concept art
Yeah, yeah,
essentially,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Okay.
like loading screens that they haven't put in the game, whatever. But yeah, there's also like a different spell that no one's ever seen, and that might be tied to like the wand. Just like a little firebolt thing, kind of similar to Zap.
Interesting. That's cool.
Basically the cantrip that
Yeah.
someone wants to add to like the wizard staff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Also
I think it'd be
There's-
cool. What if wands have a cantrip, but you can't cast a spell with the wand?
That's what we're
So
saying.
you have to have
yeah.
your. Oh, okay.
So you'd have to have like the crystal ball in your other hand to cast the spells, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you right click
Right.
and you shoot a firebolt, and then.
Fireball.
What if it's like
yeah.
You ever play those games where you have like a laser gun, right? Where you can shoot it, and it overheats, and you have to wait for it to come back. What if that's kind of how the cantrip would be?
That's
interesting.
kind of what I was saying with the magic staff. If they added like a cantrip to it, just like a quiver attached to like a recurve bow, you get 6 arrows, and you have to fucking reload the quiver, right? That animation. What if
That'd be
the
cool.
wand is I shoot 10 firebolts, then I have to run my magical hand over it like I'm reloading it, and I get the bolts back. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Even if you couldn't reload, I think that'd be fun. Honestly, just like has X amount of charges for the whole game.
Or they
Don't be doing
charge
mods
whenever you
anymore.
whenever you sit down and rest. It recharges along with your spells.
Maybe
Yeah.
something like that. Could be nice.
Interesting. That could be really
I
cool.
just have a feeling if they had like charges on like a wand or a staff, that shit would get broken real fast. I think. Double zap into like a wand zap, you just die, kill everybody.
Kind of scary when you put it like
yeah,
that.
wizard's broken. It's crazy.
I'm saying, dude.
Hmm.
They had that 0.13 KD.
Yeah,
What is that?
Fighter was like
0.13
just
too
over
high,
2.
dude.
Yeah,
Odom says, "What if there's like a reload overheat mechanism to balance it with the wand? What if eventually when there's item durability, which also is kind of like, I don't know about that in this game, but what if something like a wand does have an overheat, and if you like cast too many firebolts out of it, it burns the wand and you lose durability in it or something like that. So you have to be careful with how you're spamming it. That could be kind of cool. Interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll just read Stashko's. How would you all, especially Wilson, feel about adding in mid-tier armors between cloth and leather and plate, like splint mail, studded leather?
Yeah, I think chainmail
Stuff
is
like that.
one that's mentioned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like in between. Yeah, that'd be great. As long as I can use it with Slayer. Yeah, go
Totally.
for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be. Yeah, I don't think they'll do that, but I would
Why
love to
not? I could
more
see
options.
that. Yeah, throw on
Yeah,
some
the armor
chainmail.
definitely
Yeah.
not with Slayer probably. I don't know.
I think Slayer's just
But-
no plate, right?
Yeah. I
If it's no
suppose.
plate, fuck, why not? Some chainmail and some
It could
studded
be like
leather
a
pants.
huge.
That'd be
could
massive.
Be a huge
Yeah,
bonus. Yeah.
that'd be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for more options. Go for it. Throw
Yeah.
in some mid-tier armor. Yeah, keep it interesting.
Nat Gamut says, how is everyone feeling about the changes to Ranger? I feel the community is divided about how to balance Ranger, making either super weak or super OP. Tough class to balance. Are you referring to arrows, having to carry your ammunition around? Because I think as long as they add like a quiver item, arrows and traps are fine except for the skill check. I think that's dumb. The chain thing is
Yeah.
fine, but get rid of the skill check. Now, in terms of arrows, I think there should be a quiver that you can, just like, you know, when you're rocking your Slayer build, in your main hand you have your arming sword, and the offhand you have a torch, and that activates the dual wield abilities of Slayer, right? Well, in that offhand, if you're a ranger, you have your recurve bow in your main hand. What if you could slap in the offhand slot a quiver? And in that quiver, let's say a gray one holds 15 arrows, a common one, a white one holds 20, a green one holds 25, so on and so on and so on. And obviously they would have stats attached to them as well. I think that would be a good way to keep the arrows, at least some arrows, out of your inventory. It gives the ranger a new, unique, cool item that only they can use, except maybe fighter. And I guess bard can use survival bow, right? So they could probably get quivers as well. Or maybe you make quiver ranger only, so only a fighter could use it as well with weapon master perk. But I think that would be sick. And if you have, you know, let's say it's a unique quiver that can hold, I don't know, like 40, 50 something arrows. I could see like any arrow you shoot out of your bow with that quiver equipped is on fire, like almost like you have a free ignite on or something like that. Like there's a lot of stuff you could do with quivers, and it wouldn't take up the cape slot or anything like that. It would just be next to the bow in the hand slot. I think that would be huge for ranger. I think it makes sense. I think it would allow you to, if you had a really good quiver, let's say like a purple or like legendary quiver, you could just fucking walk right in with 40 arrows and not even have to worry about carrying arrows in your inventory. That would be really cool. That was long-winded, but yeah.
I love it.
Basically, Soma really likes quivers.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
love 'em.
Yeah, go for it. I like. I think Ranger overall, like the guy was asking like about balance. I didn't find they were like weak.
Mm-mm.
I don't feel like
Nope.
Ranger will ever be weak as long as they can do like quick shot with a purple longbow. And then
I
like,
will say,
field ration and all back.
yeah, I've run into less Rangers though since
Yeah, it's just-
the arrow nerf.
It was just a nuisance, right? Buying arrows, couldn't put them in your stash. Took up a bunch of space.
I think it's hard to adjust.
Yeah.
People trying to adjust to a change. Well, I would say Ranger's been OP for 4 entire playtests, and then this one they're more actually balanced. I would say.
Yeah. I think
Maybe
they
a
still
little
were
more
like,
aggressive damage drop off. That's all I would say. It's a little more aggressive.
Dude, Ranger with spear is dirty.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Dirty.
I think the coolest ranger build I saw was it was a crossbow. It was a crossbow ranger that had like a windlass and its
yeah, second
second
as a
slot,
other option.
and then it had a rapier and a hand crossbow on the other hand.
Hmm.
The reloading of that hand crossbow with all the crossbow perks, what the fuck? It was awesome.
Yeah, that.
What's the damage of a
crossbow was
hand
crazy.
crossbow per hit though?
I think with
I watched
some
Repose one shot like 10 different rogues.
yeah, if you have like some good
Yeah,
ranger
there you
perks
go.
on, if the right
Or
perks,
like the headshot one.
oh yeah, and you have like penetrating bolt or penetrating shot. There's a couple of skills that you can take with it. and a couple of perks, ranger specific perks, where if you have a hand crossbow on with an arming sword or a good main hand melee weapon, people were getting fucked up by ranger. It was incredible, and the hand crossbow reloads so fast with that 50% faster crossbow reload.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
And then if you have a good crossbow or windlass on your other other weapon slot, you're doing massive damage. Half the reload speed on a regular crossbow is really fast. They get too close, switch right to your hand crossbow and your sword. You're dancing in and out, shooting, getting cover quick, reloading that thing in like 1 second, popping off shots. It was pretty fucking cool to watch. Pretty cool.
Crossbow's crazy. I think when I played Ranger playtest 3, I actually would take crossbow just because it was different. It wasn't like the longbow spam, but it was probably the most hilarious thing you can do was like trap someone and then just crossbow bolt them in the face. Yeah,
pretty satisfying.
It's so satisfying. Yeah. Even like the windlass and stuff. That thing was crazy. They're just there defenseless. And it's like 90, 100 damage to a rogue that's trying to sneak up on you. It's so perfect. I had so much fun with that before I started recording stuff. Yeah.
So, okay, if you had to have like a perfect build for your fighter, do you think Weapon Master rocking a really good longbow is good, or would you rather ditch the Weapon Master perk and be rocking a crossbow as your ranged?
Crossbow, yeah. I had a debate with this, like a conversation in the Discord about this literally today. A guy was watching a video wondering why I was using longbow, and I was like, well, it's because of what I had. But and I was like super budget, like I didn't want to spend 150 on a crossbow. Crossbows, for some reason, this playtest, I had a hard time finding them. Like they were in the shop like intermittently, which wasn't enough for me. And then to buy one, they were like nowhere to be found. Maybe like there's more wizards out there than I thought, like Ken running crossbow, but they were all like really pricey the last day and a half. So I just didn't run one with a lot of my stuff I wanted to run them with. And I'd much rather have a crossbow, get rid of the weapon mastery perk. I got an arming sword, usually backed up with a short sword, maybe a falchion. Don't need to mess around with any other weapons if you're using dual wield. And then, take the crossbow and keep a perk, especially with Slayer now being a perk you take. Your options are a little bit more limited, and combo attack, Slayer, dual wield, and then projectile resistance being basically must for me when you're going full attack speed, full movement speed, trying not to die to rangers. Yeah. So that would always be, I would always try to avoid weapon mastery unless I was just doing like kind of meme stuff. And then I was like budget or broke and had to run a longbow. Yeah.
Interesting. I felt like
people will say that longbow is like you can just deal out more damage consistently, and
it's good for PvE too. It's so much better for PvE. You essentially get to trivialize a lot of it just like Ranger does. Trying to do that with a crossbow it takes way too fucking long. And honestly, with all the strength and physical power and shit that you're stacking as a fighter, typically, that longbow, you're probably doing just as much damage as a ranger at the end of the day with it.
Yeah, longbow is amazing. Like I don't
too
think
good.
It's a problem taking it.
Yeah.
I just love crossbow. I just got hooked on it in playtest 4, and like I even want to I'm really really hoping I get a chance to try like pocket windlass, like put a couple of them loaded in your inventory, and then just quick equip them and just blast a few people with windlass, and then go back to your crossbow or longbow.
Yeah,
this is something I've been desperately wanting to try and just never got a chance to try it out.
You ever seen that guy with like the 6 windlass crossbows in his backpack?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
crazy.
about. It'd be so hilarious. It's like, oh, we're doing like this 1v1 thing, and like let's do this 1v1 duel, and the guy just pulls out 6 crossbows.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it'd be nuts.
So you don't have to reload or anything. It's so stupid. It's probably hella fun though.
And I think if you alt click, it's like right in your hands. So.
Yeah, the crossbow is quite good, but when you miss with it, it feels real bad.
The reason why, and it's kind of a point that a lot of people don't think about too, as a solo player, like if you're trying to be quiet, when you draw a longbow, like everyone can hear it. Like if you're like behind a door, you can even hear them, like their arm like shivering a bit, and like they're holding the string. Like you can hear a longbow draw. If your crossbow's loaded, no one knows you're there.
That's true.
And you can just blast them through the door. So like the amount of times I've heard rangers like loaded, loading up, you always hear them, but you never hear crossbow.
Right.
It's like the silent arrow. Yeah.
That's
and it hits
true.
hard, man. It's hard.
The sound of a bow drawing is so engraved in my brain. It's crazy, man.
Yep.
That little.
Yeah, and they're like
Yeah.
holding a corner, and you know they're holding it, so it's like, okay, here comes a quick shot. Like 3 arrows
Yeah.
are flying, but with a
Yeah.
crossbow, no one knows you're there unless they hear the footsteps. So I play pretty light gear, never touch plate boots, so it's pretty sneaky.
Did you ever use halberd?
I did, yeah,
I
yeah. I liked
fucking
halberd a
love
lot.
it. It's so fucking
Yep.
strong and fun.
It's like a
that
team
with a
killer weapon.
longbow. That with a longbow is like my go-to. Now, if I knew how to use parry riposte like Augie, I would ditch halberd forever
Yeah,
and go full gore all the
100%.
way.
Like
Right?
my ranking is pretty much like longsword. Any video I made with longsword, like even playtest 4, you could like a 3v1 was possible so much. It was so much easier with a longsword.
Right.
And then halberd with its damage, okay, there's your damage you need to kill those 3 players. But like dual swords probably the most difficult. Like I
Seems
don't
so hard to use.
it,
Yeah.
it's incredibly hard to use, and it's like I just do it because it's unique. And
Yeah.
at the time I was doing it, no one was using it, so it was like I
Right.
was using adrenaline rush when it was still like a single use, and it was just dumb. Like it wasn't the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
don't recommend it if you're trying to get out of a lobby for the first time.
Mm.
But when you actually win a fight or kill 3 players using adrenaline rush, and those players have never seen that skill used before in the game, it's like it's just hugely satisfying. So that's why I started using it.
Mm.
And then like, have you ever seen like a longsword with adrenaline rush? How fast that thing swings? It's just
No.
like a
That's
whole
fast.
different weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. I would love to see. I want to try it, and Augustin and I maybe sometime we'll get to. But like a longsword with adrenaline rush versus a longsword standard parrying it, and just see how difficult it is to parry, how quick those swings come out, because it's a pointed stab and then a cleave to the head and then a follow up slash. And with adrenaline rush, it's so fast. So
Mm.
like it'd be interesting. I just love adrenaline rush because it's exciting. But it's not like your
It is
second wind
nice
where you're
that
just tanking. Yeah.
it's nice it's on a cooldown. It's like a direct
Yeah,
Wilson buff.
huge.
I
I'm
mean.
pretty sure they watched my videos. They had to. I don't know.
You
No
think
one
so?
else was talking about adrenaline rush. Like no one was using it. It was just a dumb perk. And then it was like, okay. Then we get a Slayer like for dual wield. Like dual wield went from 7% attack speed to 15. Then I started using it, and I was using adrenaline rush when it was bad. So they probably had this plan already. I'm just being selfish, but I'm glad they're making these changes. But
Nah, they
still,
watched you. They watched you.
longsword's
guy.
definitely the best. If you can learn the block on it, you're basically deleting a lot of people before they can even get a chance to hit you.
Yeah,
then
if
halberd-
Warlock sucks, I'm definitely going to be training longsword a lot
Yeah.
next time we come
Yeah,
Halberd,
come
together.
to
like-
a longsword camp with Augie-san? I'm
Yeah.
there, dude.
Oh yeah.
Well, you think
I'm
like
in.
halberd versus longsword, like if you learn, you're not losing it with the longsword. You shouldn't.
That
be.
swing is pretty
depends.
fucking wide though on the halberd.
The
I
halberd
think it'd be
range
hard
is
to parry.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can keep them boxed out and you're using that range and you're backing up and they can't get close, even if they
it's
parry, you
tough.
can back away and they'll miss with the ripostes.
Yeah.
But you have to be
toughest thing-
using that range on the halberd properly.
Like the toughest thing for me about the blocking on anything, like a lot of people ask me why I don't use like sword and shield. And if you're playing solo against like multiple targets, I hate being static. And it's like you're putting up a block, you're fishing for someone to hit it, or maybe you're blocking an arrow, but you're taking like the next couple in your legs, and then someone's circling around behind you, and the next guy's swinging at you. So like, sure, you can block a few moves, but you're not gonna survive.
Right.
It's always like for me personally, it's like doing as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time, because that's like your only way to win against 3 players. You can't just sit there and block.
True.
They're just going to outlast you. So like with a halberd, you have the damage. It's just even with a halberd, like the first 2 swings aren't that fast, so you got to kill 3 people. I'm always thinking like of fighting 3 players. It's always the kind of outcome I'm expecting.
Hmm.
So I always think like, how can I get more damage on the fighter class? Well, let's go crazy attack speed and then put adrenaline rush on and just try to kill them as fast as possible. No hitting
Yeah.
walls, just swinging like crazy.
I think for fighter to really be a little bit better, get a gap closer, get that charge in. Essentially, it's blink, right? For like mage in World of Warcraft, except you're just running forward 10 feet or something. And I think having a stronger, better victory strike that gives you back like 20% of your health and does 30% damage and has a slightly better cooldown. That might seem extreme with those numbers, but I think that's how you get people to start using other abilities. Make the ability 5% of your health back, dude.
Well, that's what's
On
crazy.
the
The
last
first,
hit.
on the
if you
last
kill
hit,
them.
my
Yeah.
first video, it was like the 1v4, and the third guy I killed with victory strike, and the 5% HP actually kept me alive for the next hit. It's only
That's pretty good.
only time I've
yeah.
ever seen it. It's literally the first video I posted, and I think that's why everyone's like, "What the? This is nuts."
I
But
will
Victory Strike's
say
garbage.
with Barbarian, there's morale boost and something else. Whenever you get a kill, you get
Yeah,
some
that's
strength
great.
for like
Yep.
7-10 seconds, which is amazing. And then if you kill a player, you get like 12% of your health back
Yeah.
as you
Is it
get a kill.
Berserker? I think it's Berserker.
It's not Berserker. No, Berserker gives you more attack power as you're missing health.
Yeah, I used to use the HP after a kill, and it's really nice because you have a crazy big HP pool on a Barbarian. It's like 10% HP every kill. So if you're going through a fight, it's pretty useful.
Let me see here. I'm looking
So
it
a
up.
fighter doesn't have like the damage, so you're just struggling to deal damage. Like longsword's the best at it. You could do like 120, 130 a hit with like a blue or purple. And they come out faster than most other weapons.
All right, so let's see here. Carnage, strength increases by plus 10 for 7
Carnage,
seconds when a target is killed. And then its morale boost recovers 12% HP after killing a player. So when you have Carnage
12%.
and morale boost proccing as you're cleaving through a 3-man, many times that morale boost, 12% HP, saved my ass, and I was able to kill the whole team. Pretty fucking incredible. I feel like that kind of perk needs to be attached to fighter.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when I was like, when you talk about Victory Strike, it's like a shittier version, you know?
Yeah, it's 20% extra damage and 5% health back if it's a last hit.
On the very last hit. You know how
And
many
that
times
needs
I've
to be
tried use that?
20% health back, and it needs
Like
to be 30% damage.
Like I'm using a weapon I can't test, so I don't know how much damage I'm doing. So I'm like killing mobs, and then I'm guessing what the last hit's going to be on this mob. So then I miss my chance to get my 5% HP back. It's so frustrating. It's
All
like the
right,
most
so
frustrating
what
thing.
if there was a visual indicator on a character model that you had less than 20% health? Like as soon as you hit that 20% threshold, what if your in-game character looks a little bloody, looks a little dirty and battered? So that now you have an indicator to know, like, oh shit, maybe now's the time to use Victory Strike. I know they're 20% health or less.
Is this
You turn it
just
like on
for
your
like
screen, like maybe you get like red marks on the side or something, like blood shows up on the side of your screens.
That could work. It could be an indicator on your health bar. You as a player fighting against someone else, if you're hacking into someone and they hit that 20% or less, if they hit that with their health, you would see their face looks bloodied and bruised or something like that. You would see
This
like
was-
the blood on the barbarian or whatever.
this was a hot debate in the Discord actually, like visual, like some way of telling how much damage you're doing, like visually. And like I think for Victory Strike specifically, it'd be cool if maybe your sword, like the Victory Strike animations, your sword lights up, right? Like it has that spirally white kind of fiery stuff on it. What if it just did that when the player you last hit was 20% HP, and like kind of telling you that okay, that person's one hit or something. But
yeah.
the like the armor, like people saying they want to see like blood or something on the characters, and like a whole bunch, or maybe even a HP bar. You can see.
Not an HP bar. No
I know
damage
that
numbers,
was
no
my
HP bar.
yeah, my thoughts exactly. But it was debated like crazy in Discord, and I was just like, the less info, the better kind of deal in most situations, because I don't want everything being told to me. Like I want to be figuring it out too. So it's kind of like that little bit of skill gap where you're like kind of a student of the game in a way. Like you know what your weapon's going to do by just trial and error rather than the
Right.
game telling you.
Right.
But that's just maybe that's a little hardcore. But
Lazy Prodigy asked earlier, what are your guys' thoughts, ideas on adding more gathering skills in the game, like mining? There's mining. I would like to see herbalism, crafting
Fishing.
your own pots, fishing, stuff like that. Honestly, I think being able to go in and find herbs and you pull it out and you take it to the alchemist and they can make you clarity pots or something like that. Sure, it makes sense to me. If there's cobalt ore and ruby silver and shit, why not give me the ability to pick some fucking flowers to give the alchemist? It makes sense. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Bashan says, do you think wands will have firing mode variants with weapon tier or casting abilities in general, or possibly different wands under the wand class, like an elder wand versus an apprentice, or maybe different materials? That is way too far. I think you're overthinking it too much, Bashan. I think that yes, there will be like common, uncommon, epic wands with just different abilities.
Unique, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a unique has some sort of interesting variant, but I think it would just be a pew item for a wizard. What do you think, Jay?
Um, I guess it would just do more damage. You know.
Yeah.
Higher tier. I don't really know. Do you think they're gonna have like different spells on them? I don't know. Man.
No, I don't think that had different spells.
Like Skyrim, like Ice Bolt and Fire Bolt, and then like Zap.
Yeah, on each different wand.
Yeah.
I think it would just be like
doubt it.
energy, some sort of like magical energy blast that comes out of it. I mean, you've seen the images. You said like the press release images. What did the spell effect sort of look like, Jay?
Oh, you don't see the spell effect or anything.
Oh,
You just see like the icon, which is not in the game. It could have just been like Fireball or something, and they changed the picture.
Interesting. Okay.
You don't ever see the wand actually be used. He just has one in his hands walking around and one like in his bag. Backpack.
Okay, let's take a couple more and then call it. For professions, another one from Lazy. For professions, how would you guys feel about jewel crafting? You could cut your jewels and if some high tier gear had gem sockets. We've talked about that before, actually. Yeah, I think if there was a specific place on a specific map where you could take an item, and if you had like a specific item, like a blacksmith hammer or something like that, one-time use, and if you die you could lose it in the raid. You take that in, you take the item you want, you find some sort of like blacksmith table in a basement of the Howling Crypts, and you could add a socket in, right? And then obviously there's already diamonds and emeralds and gems in the game. At this point you could just add a stat to each gem. So ruby is strength, emeralds willpower, sapphires fucking knowledge, shit like that, right? And then
pretty cool.
Yeah, then you could just like set a ruby into your dark plate armor, or you could set an emerald into your wizard staff or something like that. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense. And I think it'd be cool. I think people would like it.
It fits well.
You guys want socketing, gem socketing, stuff like that? If you could find stuff in like a dungeon, like maybe you could, let's say blue weapons have gem sockets, and I can put like a fire enchantment. It does 5 fire damage on my weapon or something like that. Y'all want that?
I think if it was, so you know how like finding troll's blood is a very specific thing. You have to fight the troll boss. He has to drop it, but then you have this really, really cool, unique potion. I think if it was something like there's a specific sub-boss or something in the game that you kill, and it has a chance to drop a special blacksmith hammer, then once you have that, you can go in and set a gem into one item, and it's hard and rare to find, and not many people would have a socketed and gemmed item, and it's kind of a trek and a quest in itself just to put a socket into an item. That would be really exciting. A lot of people would go for it. I think it'd be a fun thing to try to achieve, like and you wouldn't see. Yeah, it's almost like a personal in-game quest. Yeah. I think that could be really exciting and really cool. Just like you don't have to go in with a pickaxe and mine a bunch of cobalt to get cobalt gear, right? If you want to do that, if you want a full set, it's going to take a lot of fucking raids, a lot of time. If you die with the pickaxe, you hope you have the gold to buy another pickaxe. You have to bring it back in and hope you don't die again and get that ore out. That is a cool, unique challenge in the game. And I think having to work for it in order to socket and gem something should be on that level. It should be difficult and a fun risk associated with it.
Just a quick question. How many times were you guys like merciful for those people like mining? Or did you just slay them every time?
If I heard the pickaxe going, I ran right for him to kill him every time. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever caught anyone with their pants. Like, I've always caught someone like finishing up, but I've never caught somebody mid-mine and had the opportunity to just do what I wanted to them. But I would definitely not be nice about it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been like hit or miss. Like sometimes I'm like kind of, I feel bad. That's such a terrible grind that I don't want to be a part of right now. But like, and then I kill them and I take the stuff and I never use it either. I'm just like, what am I? This is useless to me. Like, why do I want this?
That would just sell the ingots and the ores. Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought like I should have been making money doing that. Really.
Yeah. Okay.
If I see some little Timmy and starter gear mining away, dude, I'm leaving him. Leaving him beast playing in his own world,
I killed a couple in the Gladiator series just to pump up those kill numbers, but
jeez.
Yeah, it was getting desperate at the end. So It was.
What
getting
have you
bad.
ever? What's your highest? Have you ever gone like leaderboard hunting on like high roll or anything like that?
No, I wish. Like playtest 4, I did crack into high roller quite a few times, but playtest 5, like the first day and a half, like I know you guys talked about before, like Jay never had any issues, but some people had. Like my first day and a half, I barely got in. Like there was 6 hour stretches where just nothing would work, kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I
Wow.
had like 3 days or 3.5 days to just go at it. So high roller was like the distant goal, and then going into that playtest, I was like, I want to go into high roller a bunch just to see what can happen because it's so fun. I just never
Yeah.
got the chance. Yeah, I would love to. And last playtest 4 was super fun. Way different feeling.
Mm.
Like more hardcore. Like no kill feed. Like don't see names and stuff. It just felt really cool.
Yeah.
I just didn't have
Fair.
I didn't have the income. I had so many things I wanted to test and so many ideas, and like I just completely ran out of time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we
But
get a chance
next
to
playtest.
test shit out again soon. Yeah.
Yep.
Jay, any final questions or anything from your chat?
Oh, it's kind of good. How do you guys feel about adorning gear with skulls and other things class specific to show how long that character has survived? And how many people they've killed?
It's pretty cool.
Kind of like
I
that.
feel like it's just a little flavor. I would like
Mhm.
that, but it's just a little flavor. I
Sure.
don't know.
I think that's
It's
kind of
so
cool.
intimidating.
You guys ever
Super
play
intimidating.
Apex? You know, like how they have the top team for this match. Did you
Yeah.
ever want anything like
Mhm.
that?
Oh, like
Like
who
going
was
into the
the
lobby?
craziest bastard in
Yeah.
the? It'd just be Orlanthi every time. Or
It'd
it'd be,
fun,
or
though,
it'd be
'cause, I mean,
repos.
like, imagine
you'd
if you're in
know,
the
right?
well, yeah,
You'd
then
know
you'd
like they're in
know,
there. So they're like,
yeah.
I'm stream sniping. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find them.
fair.
I think they had a
Um,
problem with that too. I don't know.
I like that one. Wizard beard gets longer with each kill. Yeah, I'm trying to have that thing down on the
what
floor, dude.
What if every class had like a thing where if
Like
you're doing
older,
like
bigger
Rangers'
beard and-
hair's
Yeah.
getting longer, Wizards getting the
Mhm.
fucking fighters getting more jacked, or the barbarians getting
Starts to
more
go
jacked.
like white, like salt and pepper hair on the fighter. Like he's just
Yeah,
scars
he's
all
more
over him.
grizzled.
Yeah.
Barbarians getting more
Yeah.
ripped. Wizard
Yeah.
beard's getting longer. Rangers getting longer hair. I kind of like
Pretty
that.
cool.
Rogue's eye
That'd be
makeup
fun.
is getting darker.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
You just Rogue is just eventually doing blackface.
Oh no. Oh, Donnie.
Yeah.
So the after hours.
Oh, Donicus. Anyway, this was great. Thank you so much for joining us, Wilson.
Yeah, thank you,
No
Wilson.
problem.
It was very fun
Like
to
I
talk
said,
to you.
I think everyone missed it that was just tuning in for this, but like I've been watching this thing since the start. So like episode 1. I know you guys got a lot of cool guests coming, and I'm just like happy to be part of the crew, really, because like I love seeing this thing get more and more attention. I'm a huge fan. So
Oh,
to be on this is
thank
kind of
you.
like just a random occasion because I posted a video like mid Christmas tree season. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be sitting here with you guys. Cool. So thanks a lot.
No, I'm
Thanks
so
for coming,
happy
though.
that
Keep
you've been
going.
watching. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, man.
Mhm.
No, it's great to have you on.
Definitely play with us next playtest. We're trying to
Oh yeah.
definitely play with more people. We're doing
Let me know.
sword training camp with Agi-san.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can teach us the way of the dual wield.
Yeah, I'll
the
just
W
take
key
you in
warrior.
there and we'll just die repeatedly, and you'll know what it's like. Yeah.
Slayer seems
Yeah.
so hard to make work,
Like,
man.
why did you
Oof.
bring a longbow? I said crossbow.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. That'd be super fun. I think you guys all agree the game's a blast regardless. So
Yeah, exactly.
The more
Yeah,
the merrier.
I saw your videos a long time ago. You're one of the first people I reached out to get on the podcast as a
April.
guest. Yeah, so it's been
Fucking
some months now. So it's so great to finally meet you, man. Keep the videos coming if you have any hidden
keep
gems
searching,
on the
yeah.
hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep them coming. It's fun to watch, man.
Joking.
Yeah, and you're also like the hottest daddy we've had on the podcast according to chat. So congrats on that, dude. Everyone loves
Weird.
you.
He
Excellent.
said that about every guest. A little weird.
Yeah.
so.
It's true.
Yeah, I'll get my farmer's
I'm
hat
just
on.
reading chat. I'm reading chat. Okay.
You know, he's
Right.
got like a rugged, I'll fix your car kind of look. You know,
Yeah.
Ken's more of the like hair dye, like I'm
Yeah, I'm the
interesting,
fighter
nobody
class, yeah.
understands me kind of guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Wilson does he's very fighterish. Ken is very wizardy.
Yeah, I would say Ken
Yeah.
is more warlocky. He's got like
Yes, he
looks
is
skinny and
warlocky.
frail.
He is
Likes dark
warlocky.
music, like like the alt kind of thing.
By the end of this, like as you guys get more and more guests, it'll be interesting to see like what they all look like. Is he a fighter? Is he a cleric? I'm interested. Yeah,
No, I think you're
tuning
right.
into that. You'll be like doing like
Oh.
appearance judgment on the classes. Warlock starts coming in. You're like, that's totally this guy.
Yeah,
Augie,
Orlanthi said he
Augie
won't
was
show
sort of
his
like,
face,
yeah, he won't show
but
his
he
face.
said he'd do a foot cam for us. So we're gonna see what
Yeah.
his feet
Oh,
look like.
that's
Yeah.
way better. Yeah, I'm never doing
Free
that.
content, boys.
Honestly, Augie kind of looks more like a friendly cleric because Augie's such a nice guy. He's like a sweetheart.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? He seemed like
Hey, I
a
saw-
sweet cleric.
Which, by the way, he got married, right? Like, congrats.
Yeah,
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 he
yeah.
did.
Congrats.
I witnessed.
the
I
guy.
watched some of his like Call of Duty videos before he took them down, and he wasn't so cheerful. The COD's a different beast. Yeah,
Well,
Oh.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
just toxic
Brought a
slop.
different side out of him, huh?
yeah. I want to see that. I want to see that's come out of Augie, just like ripping and tearing mad, like destroying people with the longsword. Like, what? Wouldn't that be entertaining? Yeah.
I would love to watch that.
That'd be good.
Mhm.
I would love to. I want to see some collabs too. Now that the dark and darker content creators are starting to get to know each other more and communicate more, stuff like this, where there's guests that come on and you get to know people more. I want to see more collab videos, like when Jay
Yeah,
played with
I agree.
Orlanthi or Ken. I would like to see that happen more with other community members. That'd be sick. But
Yes.
anyway, Donnie,
Someday.
where can
I would
people?
totally play at XQC. It'd be an honor.
Yeah.
All I gotta say.
I can translate the French Canadian, maybe.
Oh,
Please do, because I
perfect.
cannot understand it. I would tune in and watch sometimes if I knew what the fuck that man was saying. That's
Here's my one
can't.
critique of XQC.
oh
He is by far like what top 3 popular streamers, if not number 1, right, on Twitch. Can you just get some sound panels in your room? Does there have to be such an echo when you talk? Can we just invest like $200-300? I know you got the bands. Like we all saw the deal. Just get a few sound panels up. Like, I love the accent, love the energy. Just that echo fucking kills me every time.
I feel like there's something like that's part of the vibe with XQC. Just something jank
Okay.
about it, like
Yeah,
broken
yeah.
that's like
mics,
part of
slamming
it.
the desk,
Yeah,
you know what I
Tyler
mean?
One wears like a fucking
juicer.
headset and screams into his fucking headset mic because he's playing League. Screams so loud it peaks the mic and you can't hear him speak anymore.
Mhm.
That's part of it. That's part of the fucking.
That's the good side of Twitch right there.
Yeah, that's the good
Forgotten
shit.
art.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, fine. Keep the echo.
Donnie, where can people find you online?
DuhDonnie at YouTube. Haven't posted in forever, but I stream sometimes. DuhDonnie at Twitch.
Streaming earlier, in fact.
Mhm.
I saw you.
I
Watching
was
that Red Dead
for a bit.
Redemption.
Then I ate chicken wings, and I was like, God damn, I have a podcast later. It is. But yeah,
Nice.
check me out there. I'm thinking I might. I always say this every time. I'm thinking I might. Have you guys seen that 6 Days in Fallujah game?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen
actually.
bits and pieces.
So-
I think Lyric was playing it. Yeah.
It's a game made about obviously Fallujah whenever the U.S. forces went in there,
Mhm.
but it's taking
know what
kind of
that
this like a battle in the invasion
Part
of
of the
Iraq
world.
and stuff like that. Desert
Oh,
Storm, I
okay,
believe.
okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like 2003, 4, something like that. But part of like the thing is they do it like really seriously. They'll be like, yeah, like they're doing legitimate interviews from guys who are there, and they're talking about their experiences, which very important and stuff like that. But then you'll go into the game, and I'm just shooting like 30, 40 people. So it's this like weird juxtaposition of like this serious war documentary
Mhm.
vibe, and it's like, now go blow up some brown people, like
too
enjoy
real?
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even real. It's just like it goes from like this like documentary thing, and then it's like, now go have fun shooting terrorists.
Some like
Enjoy
Like they make the
yourself.
glorified
emotional connection.
Yeah, some
it's
glorified
weird.
fantastical thing. Yeah.
So I want to do something where I'm like faking myself doing an interview and like yeah, I was there in 2004, and then going to some just goober ass gameplay with it. So that's what I'm thinking currently, but
Nice.
So in like 6 months, we might get it.
maybe. But yeah, no, I'm probably gonna get
Make
some
it
some
6
stolen.
weeks, dude.
I'm gonna have some angry patriots in the comments of that video if I make
Get
it.
her done, man.
Probably
Yep.
shit.
Get her done.
But
Mr. Griffith,
Anyway,
where can people find you, sir?
I'm JayGriffyuh on Twitch and YouTube.
Embrace the sniff. Nice.
Yeah. I
Fuck
like
yeah.
Jay Suck You, but
I like Jay. Fuck you.
It was It was never Jay Suck You. Why you guys
I like
trying to
it, though.
rebrand me?
I
dude?
like it. Well, you know what I like better? Jay Love
Oh.
You.
Oh. Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
dude.
Little Jay,
That's
Jay
sweet.
sniff you might give you a sniff. Jay suck you might do some other things, but Jay love you. He's giving you neck kisses. He's going
oh.
right in your little
He
neck.
kisses all the homies.
He's
Damn.
nuzzling.
Jay nuzzle you. Oh.
hate you
Imagine
guys.
those two in RP. That'd be crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Jay would
I'm
just
owed
be
a
cringing
day.
the whole time, and Donnie just rolling through it like nothing's even phasing him.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm owed a day of roleplay. We're gonna get it one
man.
day. When I come out with my video, Jay, that's the day you have to play RP with me. How about that?
I'll let you know. I've been practicing on squad. When I get shot next to a medic, I just start screaming at the top of my
There you
lungs.
go.
dude.
That's
Is
it.
that good for roleplay
You
or
have
what?
it.
Sure, yeah.
Nice.
Why not?
Mr. Wilson, where can people find you on the internet, sir?
So yeah, I have Wilson's Game on YouTube, and then I think it's Wilson's_game on Twitch. So I'm gonna
Yep.
try to keep cranking out the copium. I think I have a little bit, maybe if I really scrounge for it.
Drip
but,
feed it, dude. Drip feed it.
Yeah, I did like that series with the Barbarian for quite a while, so I've kind of been holding on to it. Just Gladiator, just to see, essentially, just take Achilles strike. But yeah, that will solve a lot of your problems on early Barb once you learn of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, then Twitch. I kind of been bouncing around Twitch for a long time, but eventually I'd love to be streaming Dark and Darker. Like live
Right.
would be cool. But
You should
For
just
now?
stream it.
Stream it.
yeah,
push the
I did
button,
actually.
dude.
I streamed 3 or 4 times on YouTube the last 3 days of the playtest for like 3 or 4 hours. Just my
Oh,
living
okay, nice.
situation and like a baby and noise and like I don't want to diminish
True.
like, the experience for
Yeah.
somebody because I'm like feeding a baby for 20 minutes and then jumping back into a raid. You know, it's like,
Right.
that's kind of what's
Sure.
No, I want to see
Stuff.
what it's like when you raid baby in one arm,
Yeah.
playing the game
yeah,
with the
they're
other.
like the true fighter. Like I've been torn from my family to come into this dungeon and just destroy people. Yeah, that's how I imagine the fighter class is like this guy, this grizzled old vet, like he got roped into some bullshit because it's like struggling.
One
family's
last
back
job.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, this last thing he's gonna do, and like these guys convince him
Jesus.
there's all kinds of gold, and then he just goes down there and it's just a mess. Like he's just pissed the whole time. That's why I want to see Augustin, like just real mad. Like that's
I
my
love
fighter
that.
class. Like I want him to be intense. That's maybe more D&D right there. Like
Yeah, you have a
Yeah,
D&D
maybe that's more
fighter
of a
ready to
campaign
go.
thing
Yeah,
then,
you're
yeah.
ready to play
There
some
you go.
tabletop.
mhm.
Awesome. I'm Soma at Soma on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram @_Soma on YouTube. You can find this podcast on that channel. And Jay, whenever he feels like it, occasionally will upload an episode.
I forgot. Well, I forgot, dude. Okay, it's going up tonight or tomorrow.
No, it's all
My
good.
bad.
You do you, baby. But yeah,
I
make
forgot.
sure you like and subscribe and follow all that happy shit. You guys know what to do. And again, Wilson, love the videos. You're a fucking great guy. Very
Cheers.
chill, cool dude. So thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to speak with you and hang out, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Wonderful.
I'll send you some maple syrup someday, just right from the tree.
Fuck
Please.
yeah, that actually sounds amazing.
down.
I would
And
love
you
it
know what?
actually. That for
You
real.
can drink it. You can drink it in your mug. In your
Yeah, I'll be
Madrinas
like
mug.
I'll be at my own products. Like I'll be dark and darker, but drinking maple syrup out of my mug. Yeah.
You
There you
need
go.
to make your own
Yeah.
tankard. Please make your own
With a
tankard.
bag
You
of
have a
ketchup
sawmill,
Lay's,
dude. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ketchup Lay's with it. Exactly. That's very Canadian, right?
I had
Mhm.
my Canadian guildie sent me that, and what's the everything on it Ruffles or whatever? Why are those ketchup chips so sweet? That's what I want to know.
You tell me, man. It's it's like sugar. It's like sugar poured on those.
Crazy.
Ooh, really?
They have
It's the
ketchup, all
sweetest
dressed,
ketchup I've
all
ever
dressed.
had.
That's
You
kind
ever
of
have
odd.
donair sauce, like garlic fingers and stuff? They don't have them, I
Nope.
think, down your guys' way.
Mm-mm.
But I actually had a friend in university from Nevada, and he was like just addicted to garlic fingers and donair sauce because he'd never heard tell of it before. So it's Atlantic
Garlic
Canada
finger.
life
What's
was
a
just-
garlic finger?
Yeah, I'm speaking XQC or something now. Like it's a different language. It's basically
Where's
just
the
a
echo?
pizza with cheese and garlic, like, and no, it's just you dip in donair sauce.
Oh shit, that sounds good.
So it's a whole different
Damn.
thing. Like donairs, poutines. Yeah, like
Poutine is
yesterday I had a
good,
lobster,
dude.
I had a
Oof.
lobster roll yesterday. Like that's pretty much what we do on the coast. So
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I really like Northeast Canadian oysters, like Prince Edward Island oysters, New Brunswick oysters are the best in the world, in my opinion.
Prince Edward Island, yeah, maybe.
Dude,
My shirt said-
Oh shit.
Irish Point, Prince Edward Island oysters are my favorite oysters on the planet. I'm addicted to them.
Mhm.
Have you ever had them?
Seafood out here is like everywhere. Yeah, it's just
It's the best.
super cheap. like people sell it on the street corners, kind of thing.
Shit,
Scallops
that's cool.
and lobster and stuff. Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
thank you, Wilson.
This was great. Confirming that we will be going live with the podcast next Sunday, right, Donnie, Jay? We're good because we have guests coming on next week as well.
Yes.
I said guests, plural, if you caught that, which is going to be exciting. That's going to be July 9th.
Do you want to say who we have?
What do you guys think? Should we say?
Yeah, I mean, next week we should announce, right? I mean, do they confirmed want to come?
Confirm they're coming, yeah. I mean, should it be a surprise? Or
Wilson,
should we surprise people or should we hype people up?
I'm getting the coin.
Flip it. Okay. Heads we talk, tails
Heads we do it.
Yeah.
It's heads, dude. Should we go 2 or 3?
Jay, announce it.
It's double heads, man. You want me to announce it?
Yeah, who we got coming on, brother?
You guys don't even know, dude. We got the 2 men of the hour. We got Mr. Terrence Park. We got Mr. Choi, dude, because nobody knows his first name. Both of them at the same time.
That would be so sick if we actually got both of them at the same time.
That's it. What do you mean that would be so sick?
End the
It is
episode.
going to be so sick.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Do you want to announce it, Soma, since this is your bag?
Donnie, why don't you do it?
All right. So, if I understand correctly,
Mm-hmm.
we are having Mr. Halberd himself on, Orlanthi, and his the guy who edits his videos and also plays with him a lot. He plays the game a lot too.
Uberkist.
Uberkist as well.
An
We're having
amazing
Orlanthi and
cleric.
Uberkist on. Mr. Sender and his cleric friend. I don't want to diminish him. I'm sure he's
Nice.
fantastic.
He's a fucking good cleric. Yeah, he's really good.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
he's
having both of
incredible.
them on. It's gonna be a good time, hopefully. And there will be a foot cam. Orlanthi said no face cam, but foot cam. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
100%
So do we have to
guaranteed.
pay money? Like, is there...
Well, that's on the Jay Love You page. That's
Oh,
on.
Foot kisses. Mm.
I'll leak it. Don't worry. You don't have to pay for them toes, man.
Ugh.
No, I'll be here in spirit. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah,
Awesome.
should be fun.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll
we
see
go.
you guys on July 9th at 7 p.m. PT for Orlanthi and Uberkist. That'll be our first time with multiple guests. This will be a 5-box instead of the 4 here, so it's going to be a little more squished. We'll see how that looks. Who cares, though? It's going to be fun. But beyond that, thanks for watching episode 23 of The Darkest Hour featuring Wilson's Game. Fantastic guest.
Our
Gentlemen,
longest one yet.
yeah.
Cool.
I think
2
this is
hours soon.
2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1 a.m. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry,
Oh,
that
sorry.
Atlantic seaboard time zone
doesn't
shit.
matter. Have a kid, you're up all the time.
That's
There
true.
you
You're gonna be waking up in like 4 or 5 hours anyway, right?
Mhm.
To a crying baby. I know that life.
How young is your kiddo?
Just a month now. Yeah.
Holy.
The
fresh out.
early hard times.
Yikeroonies.
It never really gets any easier. Just changes. My baby
Yeah.
just hit 10 months, and it's yes, it's easier in some ways and different than the first couple months, but there's new challenges. Like now he crawls, so I can't just like set him down and like take care of something like wash a dish. Now if I set him down, he zooms across the carpet in 30 seconds. So
Yeah,
it's a whole new game.
I've tried to hit headshots and stuff with the old Rem 700 and Battle Bit while holding. I've tried it with one hand free. It just doesn't.
You cannot game with the baby in your lap. There's one game that you can play, and this is why I play it, and that's TFT. You can play with one hand. Feed the baby
true.
like this. You can sit at your PC.
Next video, TFT.
TFT, that's it.
There you go.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time for episode 24. Have a great night and a great week. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.
No one does the fast wave. It's messed up, dude.
Do the
I was
fast
trying
wave.
yeah, no.
Well, that'd be interesting. Orlanthi will be good. I think he
Should
did.
be fun.
Bye, folks.
He did a player profile with Arcane Armor, didn't he?